Hi guys, and welcome back to Mind Over Muscle. We are on episode 24. Don't know where the time goes, but I am buzzing today. I've been so excited for this for months now because I knew you guys were coming on. So we do have Tayla back.
Hi.
Oh, there we go.
Thanks for having me.
You do.
Like a contestant on a show.
You made me feel so much better, Tayla.
Like I'm blind date or something.
I've got a face for a radio, man.
And we have Ali Crawford back. Yay!
I feel like I was
The
just
dream
here.
team. I feel like you were as well,
You
actually.
were, no, definitely. You're just.
Yeah. I think we've kind of just realised though we've got them on and we're like, what are we talking about?
I know, we don't know what we're talking about. Doesn't really matter. I know what I want to talk about.
Oh yeah, I know what I want to talk about.
Yeah, okay, that's fine.
We've got a Q&A, but it'll probably just be me and Lou asking
We'll just
her
probably
a
talk
question.
shite. Yeah.
Aye.
Probably talk shite. I don't know what
Yeah.
you want to start talking about.
Well, obviously just intro. Well, obviously.
Do you want to do a wee intro? Because
Yeah.
you've both been on before. So, I mean, short and sweet.
Like intro to who? Like who?
Who you are?
We're on blind date. There we go.
What's your favourite colour?
Tell us about you.
Okay. Okay, so I'm Tayla, and I'm not looking at my camera. I'm Tayla. I am a bodybuilding coach.
Yeah.
A competitive bodybuilder. I'm a dog ma,
Love
fiance, and my favourite colour is purple.
Love that. Nice and sweet.
That's it.
I would date you. To be
Thanks.
fair.
Nice.
Do you think your fiance is going to be raging that he was like fourth in line?
I actually forgot to mention on the last podcast I was on, and I was like, "That's it." And they were
I
like,
would never say that. If somebody
No,
said to me
neither
about it.
would
I
I.
wouldn't say I'm my wife. I'd never say that. Not that
Really?
it's bad, but
You
it
always
wouldn't even
say
cross my
dog
mind.
mum.
Me neither. Oh, dog mum always.
Oh,
even
always
say
dog
dog.
mum.
I
Dogs
just
come
forgot
before
about to
anyone.
mention Jordan last time, and they're like, "What about Jordan?" I'm like, "Oh, hi."
Oh, hi, that guy.
Aye, he's alright.
My fiance.
You're going to have to mention your husband.
Aye, you do now. You're a
like,
wife.
why is she even mentioning my name? I'm Ali. I do CrossFit. I coach CrossFit. I train any way that people want me to train. I'm really open to like any kind of exercise and fitness. Yeah, that's pretty much
Yeah.
it. Competitive CrossFit for a while, in two minds at the moment whether that's going to continue in terms of competing, but we'll see. And yeah, that's my story.
But she won. We need to add that in.
Oh, I know.
Like actual gold medal winner. Can we add that in?
Yeah. And then what was the one you just won there? What was the...
So I did the French Throwdown, which is a really big kind of European competition, but it attracts like competitors out with Europe, and it's got like a really competitive masters division as well. So it's like one of the bigger ones that like masters competitions that are hit or a miss really. Obviously you've got the games which are huge, but when it comes to like locally and even within the UK they're a bit of a hit or miss because most people my age are sensible enough to realise that they're past it for competing. But the French is like really reputable and really big. So yeah, I decided to do that this year because I was 50 this year, just like as an experience in my 50th year is like one of my bucket lists. So I was in two minds before I went into it whether this would have been maybe the last time I was going to do something big and serious, but it was brilliant. I absolutely loved it. Just
Is that why you're in
everything
two
about it.
minds
Yeah.
now? Because you're like...
No, I'm not into. I'm like I'm definitely doing
Oh,
that
you're
next
doing-
year.
You're not doing...
Fucking
I
hell.
was in two minds. I mean, I suppose, yeah. No, I would definitely do it next year for sure. It was such a great competition. I know it's Paris, but it's pretty much your doorstep compared to some of the bigger
Yeah.
competitions where you need to go to America. So it's like cheap to get to, easy to get to. So many UK athletes compete at it, so it's brilliant. Like being around all new friends and kind of old friends from the CrossFit scene in the UK, and the competition was just so well run. The workouts were great, so it kind of gave me a wee buzz again for the competing, I would say, because I think that was the first time I'd competed since 2024, and I've had a couple of niggly injuries since then, and I've just really been doing classes at CrossFit and enjoying my training and trying different things, and I think there was a part of me that was like, maybe I should just do this, but that's kind of given me a wee bit more kind of a push to maybe think, yeah, maybe I can keep it up for a wee while longer and do
I'd
it.
love to be like that at 50. I would love to be like, yeah, I'm just going to, fuck it, I'm just going to do CrossFit. Like, I'd compete.
The great thing about the competing for me though is I love competing, don't get me wrong, is it is the meeting. I know it sounds really cheesy, but it's the meeting people. I don't know whether you get it in bodybuilding scene, but like I've met so many friends through CrossFit, like people like that live in Southampton, Watford, like all over Wales, all over the place, and it's just friends that I've met from competing at CrossFit competitions. I think it's because it's like normally a weekend event. It's a lot of time between workouts and stuff like that. You just get to know people, and so it's actually a really cool kind of social thing to do as well. As much as there is the pressure of competing in the moment, but it's quite a
Yeah.
thing to do.
Do you think bodybuilding's like? I think it probably is. Like, I feel like every time I go to a show, you recognise everyone somehow.
I think it depends where you are though, innit? Like,
Yeah.
like everybody knows each other in the Scottish scene.
Yeah.
But like that's why I purposely don't compete in Scotland.
Is it? Is that right? Yeah.
Like I'm such an introvert.
Right.
When it comes to like competing and being on show day, and I get dead overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Too many people talking to me.
It's definitely a different vibe.
That's why I
think.
go somewhere else.
Yeah.
But
I think in like fitness in general though, like that's what I like about fitness is I think it's like very like, even if you are I just do bodybuilding, I just train myself 90% of the time, but it is like a nice environment, like even in a gym, like you get to know people and like you end up having wee pals and like, it's just like a nice community, like it's just nice, innit? Like I think that's for me, like I don't compete, but just training in general, that's what I like about it. I'm like an introvert where I don't actually like that many people, like I don't like hanging out with that many people, but you know, certain people I'm like,
you can build like a community, can't you? And they, like a lot of my girls, like a lot of them have done the Scottish season, so fortunately like they have met a lot of friends, which I think is amazing, because to go through a prep on your own, it can be challenging, but like I think the Scottish community is quite tight for bodybuilding, but then obviously we don't know what it's like doing in England because we're not in that community. I think they're very, very separate. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely.
I think this will be quite an interesting podcast because your things are so polarisingly different. Like, that, like even though people would lump them the same, like see people that aren't into fitness would think, well, bodybuilding and CrossFit probably the same thing.
Yeah, they probably would.
But to me, like if you're in it, I feel like they're so different. Even just that.
Oh,
there's
definitely.
like so many differences to like, oh, it's dead like community based, and then it's like,
well, I think that's definitely the difference in it. I think we
not that it's not community based, but it's not.
But it's not the kind of camaraderie you probably have with CrossFit. It's a very different kind of.
And then there's also the different ways of like when you're coming to do those things. Like there's a lot of like big pushes and pulls in bodybuilding. There's maybe not as much of that in CrossFit. Like it's a bit more like eating for performance, and like it's like so different, such different worlds.
Yeah.
There's like, if you think about it in fitness, there's like so many different wee paths you could go down, which is quite nice, isn't it? If you're like thinking about, so if I've ever had a client who's maybe came out the back end of diet really bad relationship with food, my first thought is like do a performance goal, because then you can eat for performance, and then it sort of will like get you in a wee bit of a better position with food and stuff like that. But it's quite interesting.
Yeah. Well, you've kind of done both, Tayla. I know you didn't do like competitive. Did you do competitive CrossFit?
Shows your.
Oh, but there you go. That's why we wanted you on.
What you do?
Shows your
overhead.
Shows your
snatch. Show you my snatch.
Shows you.
Can you reach it?
It's been a while since I've snatched. I think I can open my chest.
So we were laughing about this actually with your sister. with Ross. Ross is now trying to get into more functional stuff because he's stiff. It's bad. He went to see Lorna, and she just says to him, right, I just want you to lie down and like just let your hands like flop on the floor. And he lay down and his hands were like here, and she's like, what are you doing? And he's like that. He's like, what? And she's like, Ross, like, put your hand, like, I like that. He's like, that's off the phone. She's like, Ross, let your hands, like, just, and he's like, she's like, oh dear God. She's like, you should be ashamed of yourself. And he's like, she's like, I've got my work cut out with this guy. So because when we were saying we want to do a session with Ali, and I said, Ross, you should come. And he's like, I couldn't get my fucking hands back there.
He can't even get in half the machines, man. He's pure like that. Trying to get a machine that's away here.
See Ross with a shirt on. He's like, Nick, you need to pull me out my shirt. Every time. He can't get his arms back to even.
Gosh, how tight must his pecs be?
I know. Well, I'm kind of shitting myself for a midor session because I'm like, I'm not flexible that way.
To be fair, there's a lot of people that do. I mean, definitely having a good range of mobility and flexibility helps in CrossFit for some of the more advanced kind of Olympic lifting and perhaps the gymnastics, but a lot of people that do CrossFit aren't super flexible. Like, was it infinitely scalable? I think it's like it's for everyone. Like, it's like I do get on my high horse about when people love the docos and they're absolutely brilliant on Netflix and stuff like that, and they are so good for CrossFit as like a training methodology, but that really does highlight the kind of competitive. These people are like full-time athletes and this is their living, and they are different level. 99% of people that do CrossFit are doing it for health, longevity, to keep fit, to be able to go and play other sports, to have energy, to play with their kids or their grandkids. So they're not doing it with these kind of competitive goals. The pathway's there for people like me that are older that still want to go and compete and stuff and take it serious, but most people that are doing CrossFit are doing it for the coaching and the functional movement and that kind, and the community. So you don't yes, if somebody was to say to me that, like, if your husband was to say I wanted to try CrossFit, I wouldn't be like that. Oh no, you're too tight for it. Like, I would say you're probably going to have to spend some time on your own trying to improve your mobility. But
I think he's just a big shite bag. Because see Ross, right? And I'm not just saying this. Ross is like, he likes to be the best at what he does, and I think if he does something where he's bad at it just kills him.
I'm quite like that. I don't like doing things that I know I'm not good at.
We're going to be shite.
That's why I'm not competitive, because I think it's easier to just not do it than to go, let's see, like somebody went, let's see who's better at that. Like, I don't care. Maybe I do, but if I'm the worst at it, I'll be sad. So I'm like, I'm not competitive. But actually, I just don't want to be shy at something.
That's a wee coping strategy.
It's a wee limiting belief there, I think.
I know, it's this is just going to be a therapy session for Lou. What about your transition then, Tayla? How do you find, because you started out, it was more CrossFit, wasn't it? And then you moved into bodybuilding. Like, what, and then we'll come at you, Ali, as well. Like, what do you find was like the biggest shift there? Like, what did you enjoy more? Obviously, you do more bodybuilding, but
I equally have so much respect for both, because I think a lot of the principles you carry between both sports. Like, I learned a lot about training to failure, for example, through CrossFit. Like, and I mean proper training to failure. Like, as many rounds as possible, thrusters.
Right.
And if I went straight into a gym, right, just straight into bodybuilding, and somebody was telling me train to failure, I'd be like, I don't know what that feels like.
Yeah, of course.
But see, when you're in that environment and someone's telling you need to keep fucking going until basically there's no more rounds left to go, you're also in that environment where people are telling you that this is what you need to be doing. You can't be stepping back and taking these breathers, like really, really push yourself. I think I did get a lot of principles from training to failure and moved that into bodybuilding, and I've got so much respect for both sports. I wouldn't particularly say that I would never go back to CrossFit. I probably would go back once I'm done with competitive bodybuilding, but to do them both at the same time it was too challenging for my body. I really struggled from a recovery standpoint. So when I moved over, I think I felt bodybuilding was a wee bit more boring for me in the beginning.
I'd get that, yeah.
Because
you hear that all the time, people that come from CrossFit to bodybuilding. They're like, it's boring.
It was a wee bit more boring, but I think when you're driving for a specific physique goal, it makes sense.
Yeah, totally.
And then also when it comes to sort of like that community aspect, when you get with CrossFit versus bodybuilding, like, I do all my training now on my own. I don't have MD a trainer, I don't have a training partner. Whereas if I go to CrossFit, you're going to the same class as somebody at 4 o'clock. You see the same people all the time. So there's definitely, I mean, don't get me wrong, I am absolutely in love with bodybuilding, and I don't find it boring now in comparison to what I used to. I think it was just a massive, massive switch from being so boom, 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 high intensity, like running skills, weightlifting, to then going and you're like, right, you've got a top set, you've got a back off set, or you've got a drop set, and I'm like, I don't feel challenged enough. But I wasn't probably at that point just pushing myself as hard as I could have. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I think the longer you do bodybuilding and the more advanced you get, the more exciting it becomes.
Yeah, definitely.
I think it just took me a while to kind of find my feet in it.
Yeah. I'm interested in, so someone did ask this question, right? So, like, obviously we speak about bodybuilding a lot, and we talk about the kind of prep of bodybuilding, how it's really, really specific, like diet wise. What about, like, do you have a nutrition coach, Ali, for like, how would you prepare for like a CrossFit? Like, do you know calories you need to have, or do you know, right, I need to be eating at this time, or like, how does that work with you in that kind of level?
Yeah, well, at the top level they've all got nutritionists, in terms of just giving them advice of what they should be eating in the week running up to a comp, what they should be eating throughout the comp.
Yeah.
Like immediately before workouts, immediately after workouts. I've never had one.
Have you not? No.
But do you know the funny thing is, I was actually saying this to my coach this morning, that for years people, like my coaches, used to like slag me about how poorly I ate during competition, because I didn't ever have like big meals or anything like that. So if I had like 3 workouts across I don't know, say 9 hours in a day, I literally would eat off like bananas, bagels and Haribo. And,
is that right?
And it's like your nutrition's and it's a running joke in my gym about how much I love Haribo. But now all these kind of, even people that aren't really at the top level, have got people giving them some advice in terms of how they should be eating for training and
just purely
competitions. I'm like that. You're all eating Haribos and jellies, and I'm like, I mean, this is what I was getting slagged for before. Obviously, it really matters in CrossFit in terms of like a lot of people. Like no, I don't have, but I would carb load. Couple of days before.
I was going to ask
but I wouldn't be like, okay, I need to be hitting 700 grams of carbs on the Wednesday and 800 in the third. Nothing like that. I would just be aware that I would need to make sure I was getting plenty of carbs in the run up to the competition. I would always have a bit of proteins for after an event, whether it was a shake or something like that. And then I would normally eat like basically crap throughout the day, like jellies and stuff like that.
I was going to ask, does that affect your performance? Would you notice, like, because I think people think, because we spoke about this a lot, don't we, like the level that you train at, people assume you could just eat shite all day, like all the time, and I'm like, no, but she has to eat for performance as well, so it's like you need to get protein in.
That could probably be better for competitions and stuff like that, and I probably would definitely benefit from a nutritionalist. I know people who have taken one on and have seen like marginal gains, inches, all that kind of stuff, definitely seen improvement. So like at the top level, when you're constantly trying to find an edge somewhere, then absolutely, if I was an elite athlete, i.e. younger, and it was my career, I definitely would. But I suppose at my age, I'm fairly well educated with regards to nutrition. I know what works for me. I don't like, I actually quite enjoy bodybuilding training, like the session we did together. I quite enjoyed it. I do quite enjoy it. If I was doing it 5 days a week, I would probably get a little bit bored, because I do like a bit of cardio as well, and I do like a wee bit more variety, but I do quite enjoy a bodybuilding session. The thing that doesn't appeal to me in terms of bodybuilding is like
the diet,
food journey. Like I don't know. I don't know. I just don't think I would enjoy that at all. I don't like focusing too much on it. I feel like I've probably spent about a year of my life on and off, like getting to know what works for my body, what I need to maintain my physique, what I need to.
Do you track at all, Ali, to do that?
Well, I haven't. I've not tracked probably.
So you wouldn't know, if I had to say to you how many calories do you think you'd consume in a day? Would you?
It's funny. So I just started a wee kind of online program. With
I saw that. I know someone that's actually applied for that.
Do you?
She texted me saying, "I've just joined Ali's thing."
I did. So I did get quite a lot of people applying, but only I took on. Well, I said I was only taking on 10 because it was like a pilot, if you like, but I ended up taking on 12. Brilliant. It was all kind of women over 35, and obviously the challenges that we face in terms of hormones, life, energy levels, all sorts of things. So it's more like a bit of a guidance and giving some nuggets of information of what I've found works for me, and just giving some ideas for how people can develop better habits, if you like. So I started them all on Monday, and I've got them all tracking.
Amazing.
Because ultimately most women, when they start a program, it is an aesthetic goal, isn't it? They're wanting to lose fat, maintain what muscle they've got and stuff like that. So I started tracking on Monday, but what I did say to them in our welcome call is, I have tracked in the past. I absolutely hate tracking. It's a pain. It annoys me so much when I'm like trying to eat my dinner and I've got the scales out, zeroing for the plate and adding the chicken and putting it in my, and I'm like, but once you've done it for long enough, you know.
So of course.
I know. So I probably about 2,400 to 2,500 calories a day, and I don't track, but I could almost guarantee you that I'd be within 200 calories of that every day without tracking, because I just kind of know.
You do know.
But it's good to track, because it's good, because like some women don't even know the difference between a carbohydrate and a protein. It's like, that is the reality. Obviously more women and more people rather these days have more awareness of it, but you do still have people that don't really understand
they've no clue.
Nutrients,
they've no clue.
It's very useful. I think tracking's useful. I just really enjoy food and I like routine and stuff like that, and the thought of having to go in a mad calorie deficit, I know I would be miserable, so then I'm like, what's the point of being miserable?
You're almost like a happy, we talk about this all the time, don't we, like a happy maintenance, because we always talk about what is maintenance, because a lot of people just don't have a clue what that is, and that to me would be like a maintenance where you're eating a decent amount of food, but your output and the way you live your life accommodates that, and you always look in shape all year round. I definitely
feel as though in my head I've probably got a 3 to 4 kilogram swing either way. Whereby, so right now I'm 67 kilograms. If I went, I don't fancy going down to 63. Say I went down to 65 or up to 71. Anywhere between 65 kilograms and 71, I would be completely happy. Like there would be not one part of me it's like, oh, I need to trim down, or I need to reduce some calories or cut back, or I need to eat a wee bit more. Like, so I've got this really big, in my head, what I'm satisfied with. It's quite a big range. I think most people's ranges would be a bit smaller than that. So I'm happy if I'm a bit fluffier than normal, and I'm similarly, if I'm feeling a bit leaner than normal. To be fair, I probably prefer being in the other end right enough. I don't like being too lean.
Yeah, no, I get that. We've spoken about that before though, say especially as we get older. Like I could see myself getting into my shoot. I could have been a lot leaner for that shoot, right? And I could have been, but me and Andy spoke about this, and my thing was my face. I've already got quite a lean face, and all I noticed was Ross put up this video of me and him. Did you see that? Talking about the gym. So we were doing a video talking about the gym, and I was like, oh, face, and it was like the lines, see down here, and I thought, what is the point in doing a shoot if it's like, oh, our body looks great, but look at the face.
I think I'm a bit of that anyway. It's certainly according to Instagram, I'm a bit of
but that's what I thought, and I thought I could easily get a lot leaner here, and I thought Andy's been dead polite here, because he's like, we could get leaner, but I mean, for the kind of shit you're doing, and I'm like, I'll look like Skeletor on the face. I know what you're saying. So it was
it's like, not even my face. And I'm probably going to get loads of hate for this, but I can get a 6-pack so easy. I actually don't like too much of a 6-pack. Now, see when see if I'm on holiday and it's pure, but I actually don't like that. I prefer it when I've got a wee bit.
That's because you've always had the 6-pack. You're not allowed to say that, Ali.
This is when everybody's switching off now.
Ali, like I said, first time I met Ali.
Such a hardship having a 6-pack.
6-packs are overrated on a women.
People that want one, I'm like, it's like literally like taking wellies to Tenerife. It's pointless, man. See, having a 6-pack in Scotland, there is no point. It's fucking pointless, man.
Unless you do CrossFit or bodybuilding.
And even at that, like, I don't. You guys know when you're lean, right, and you're in the gym, you're fucking freezing. You don't want to get. You're like, I'm not even taking that stuff. I'm fucking freezing. It's not worth it.
I don't even have a 6-pack when I'm.
I don't even have a 2-pack, man. I've not got any pack. There's nothing there.
I literally just have wee lines.
I checked you last week. You've got a wee 6-pack.
I'm just getting really flared ribs, man. I'm not getting any 6-pack.
Like squeeze it.
Proper squeeze,
Yeah.
I see people say like, oh, can we do like some course? Like, I want to put some abs in. I'm like, why?
But I think when women say they want a 6-pack, I think they just they like they want like a flat tummy.
They want this bit where their organs are to go in. I'm like, that's your organs. That's not you want to remove your organs. Like that's not going to happen, man. Like I don't know MD who's not, maybe you, that's not got that wee bit.
Oh no, I've had 2 sections as well, so I've actually got the wee kind of the wee bit of skin over the top of my scar. So, but
who's going to see that?
I don't actually care. But that's the thing about like maybe that's.
But that's just probably because you're just quite like secure in your own body. Like that doesn't bother you.
But you can see it in me sometimes if I'm wearing like high-rise shorts on and I've got like my underwear, then you'll be able to see like there's like a wee hangover of skin there. It actually doesn't bother me.
No.
What can I do about it?
No. And no one's that close to you if you think about it. No one's sitting down and going, right, let's
but there are some women that are like when they've had sections that are like so like self-conscious of the fact that they do have this kind of caesarean ledge or whatever the hell the name for it is, and they're really like self-conscious about it.
I get that. I was probably at my stretch marks. So I've got like wee stretch marks, and they're so low down. I'm talking about, see if I pull my leggings up, you wouldn't know I had them, right? Yeah. But I noticed that in one of my pictures, I'll show you, right, where for my photo shoot, I was like, oh, I can see these stretch marks, but I'd covered them in like, obviously like bronzer and fake tan and all that, but I'll never forget when I first had them after having my kids and being with Ross, and I was like, you look at my stretch marks, and Ross was like, shall we say we're in a moment, and he's like, I didn't even notice them. And I'm like, we all worry about this, but guys, especially your partner, does the avatars? Yeah. And I'm like, are you good with that? He's like, I didn't even notice. And I'm like, that's cool. Don't care what the world thinks then. As long as you're not going to leave me over them.
No, that's no boring. No guy's boring with that.
No.
Should we do some questions? Or I kind of wanted to get both of your opinions on a couple of podcasts we did before.
Yes.
So we did a podcast on like female diet culture like donks ago, and then we also did a podcast on like common client struggles. So I feel like they'd be quite good to go over, because obviously we're all coaches, so like, we always have like clients and stuff like that. But maybe like the female diet culture one first. I think we spoke about it a bit on the last podcast we did. I don't know if we did on ours or not, but about like you kind of grown up, and like obviously we kind of got your backstory a bit in the last one, but like about like the environment you grow up as like a young kid, and like maybe if you're really young and you've got issues with food or your body, whatever, and like I don't know if you maybe want to go through your take on female diet culture. Is such a ridiculous question to ask, but like you must come across it a lot in coaching with like clients, like their struggles with like, I'm assuming the environments they've grown up in, and like obviously then you're a bodybuilding coach. I'm assuming you coach a lot of young lassies who are to be bodybuilders, which must be a huge thing for female diet culture, and because they must all go into that thinking it's a really positive thing, but do you feel like there's any negativity comes for that for them as well?
From them wanting to get involved into bodybuilding? Aye. So I coach about 30% bodybuilders.
Right, okay.
And the bodybuilders that I coach aren't really that young. I mean, they're young, but I mean, I would say probably the women that I coach are usually between probably 25 to 40. Yeah. That's kind of where I'm at. So for example, like if I had a client that reached out to me, they wanted to be a bodybuilder. Like you can't want to be a bodybuilder. Like you need to live a lifestyle, and this is what people don't understand. It's like it's a lifestyle that you live for years that you then progress into be a competitive bodybuilder.
Totally.
And I think with the industry now and how fast it does move, like I think competitive bodybuilding probably hasn't done a lot of favours for a lot of young women out there, because I think that a lot of young women are now inspired by women that do prep, right?
Yeah.
That they step on a stage with a glittery bikini and they get all this attention and they post their pictures and they look incredible, right?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of young girls out there that are inspired by people who do prep, right? And if somebody says to me, I want to be a bodybuilder, I'm like, okay, so what inspires you to be a bodybuilder? Oh, I love that look on stage. And I'm like, that's a very, very, very small part of this 100%, journey, right?
Yeah.
See, if you want to be a bodybuilder, you need to train hard. You need to be out of dieting for a hell of a long time. Like, if you are only inspired by the women on stage, then you're only inspired by the preppers. You're not inspired by bodybuilders, and they're completely different things.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Do you think that in their head they're looking at, because this is what I think it's like people come to me and go, I want to look like her, and I'm like, she doesn't look like that all year round.
No.
Do you think when they're showing you these pictures of the bodybuilders in the sparkly bikini looking, because they do look amazing on stage, but then see when you see them before they're on hair and makeup, they're half them are like miserable, and you're only like that for a short period of time. Do you think they're thinking that's maintainable to stay like that, a lot of them?
I think that they're very naive in regards to how long it actually first of all takes to get into that condition. And they could probably stay close to that, but maybe like the kind of pendulum swing that you were kind of talking about, maybe they can only go maybe 3 or 4 kilos above that stage weight.
Yeah.
And that's not possible.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people look at me and I don't even look like a bodybuilder. I look nothing like a bodybuilder. I just look like a normal person who trains. I don't have these popping abs, these popping delts. I don't have veins ripping at me all year round. That for me is a 20-week period every fucking 3 years, right?
Yeah.
So if I say to somebody, I was like, does the body that I'm in right now, does that something that you would be comfortable, being in?
It's a good question.
Oh no, I don't. I think that's a wee bit, maybe I don't want to be like that. I'm a bit fluffy. Right, bodybuilding's not for you, right?
Yeah, totally.
Bodybuilding's not for you. Be in a position where you find comfort and happiness in a maintainable physique.
Yep.
But I know that kind of went round about there in that question, but I do think that bodybuilding has a lot to answer for diet culture. But I also think that there's a lot of people getting into the sport that are not ready for it. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
I think
definitely.
like as well, it's the same as it's the same for me. Is like, see when you've got 30 clients and you only think about the 4 shite ones, don't you? You never think about the 26 good ones, right? Like it's true, but in it you're like, I'm a shite coach and they're shite, and I'm like, actually I've got 26 really good ones. They're just really shite, but not shite. But do you know what I mean? That's the one word. Challenging. But it's the same as like when I think about, you only think about the 3 or a handful of lasses that I can think of off the top of my head that do that, where they're like, I'm going to be a bodybuilder, and I'm like, fuck, what are you doing, man? Do you know what I mean? You don't think about the fact that there's hundreds of thousands of lasses that are doing it all year round that actually take it seriously and do the proper like years of graft, and they only diet for so many years, months out of years and whatever. Like, you can have I just think about the ones that are in it for the wrong reasons. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
because that's what pops up all the time now. Because if you're on social media, you just see all these wee lasses that did one prep and now they're a coach, and you're like,
I call them the preppers, not the bodybuilders.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
I wouldn't say that they were bodybuilders. I think that they prep, get super shredded, and then get their pictures taken, put it on their social media.
Yeah.
And then the problem is that all these wee lasses then want to be coached by them, and then it's just a fucking feeding ground of like all these wee lasses that did one prep that got in good nick, probably didn't reverse properly, and now they're a coaching these wee lasses that are going to do it, and it's like,
yeah,
man.
I agree massively, and I think that it's such a fast moving industry, and it is because there's so many shows now, and there's such a hype about bodybuilding. But see, honestly, like, females in bodybuilding don't particularly last that long in sport unless you are truly in love with the sport itself. Like, I've been in it for 7 years now.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of people you might only see ever having, one prep, and then after that, post prep, then they have a great time. They go into hiding, then they come back out and they're, doing some other sport or whatever it may be, which is fine. But I think that a lot of people are influenced by just this prep itself, and
everyone's doing it,
particularly pleasant.
Yeah, I also don't get the whole, because I've been asked that question a lot. Oh, would you never bodybuild? And I'm like, no, because it's a lot to put your body through hormonal wise if you don't want to do it seriously. Like, that's what I don't get. I think a lot of people do it because they want to just say they've done it and step in stage once, and I'm like, so you're willing to go through like losing your cycle, all these hormonal shifts, just to say you've done it, but you've got but they don't care if they win or that. And I'm like, see, if I was going to do something like that, I'd need to be like in my head thinking I want to compete to win or to even place or to try. But a lot of them don't do that. A lot of them don't care. They're just doing it because they want to be seen on stage in a wee bikini and saying, I've done it. And I'm like, that's a lot to put yourself through to do that, which is a bit daft.
I agree.
But then the whole pendulum thing, like, Ali, I'm interested from, like, you to me are like a fantastic athlete, very healthy. You're someone that people probably look at and go, I want to look like that all year round. Someone that does genetically have abs, but you're not like an unhealthy individual. In fact, if anything, you're really healthy for how you look. You almost look like a bodybuilder. Would you agree on that? You would look at Ali and go, but she looks like that all year round. And I'm like, but she's done her time.
I definitely think there's time under it, but I also see the young ones in my gym, like, talking about diet culture. Like, I think bodybuilding is a sport, and I think you've obviously, off the back of that, you have all these coaches that are doing like the transformation programs, which is like kind of like the whole idea of bodybuilding. It's like bulk up for a little bit, then we'll lift heavy for 6 weeks, then we'll cut back your calories and cut back your water intake and up your steps. And for me, that is quite dangerous territory, because a lot of people that are attracted by that are the young girls you talked about, Tayla, in terms of that they're looking for the shot in their bikini or their underwear on Instagram. So it's like that kind of quick fix. And I think I said this the last time, for me that is almost like it's like disordered eating for these young girls, because it's putting such a focus on excess calories, cut my calories, look a certain way. So does that mean when you're meeting excess calories, that you're not looking the way that you should be, and I just think that's exhausting as a woman, as a person. Definitely. And I think like you're saying, like, yes, I've been in the fitness industry probably for 25 years, and I've been training for probably over 30 years, so it's not built in a day, but I like the fact that young people look at me and think, well, she doesn't really don't get me wrong, I do put good foods in my body most of the time. I don't overthink anything, and I still eat my fair share of rubbish, or what would be regarded as rubbish. But it's not just like my genetics. I think it's the style of training as well, because I look at the young girls coming through in CrossFit, and they've all got similar bodies to me, in the sense of they all look quite athletic, they all look like they lift weights, but do you know what I mean, as well? But there's less focus on it being all driven by your nutrition cycle.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. Do you see that you'll see a totally different diet culture in your area than what we do in the bodybuilding world? Whereas
nobody diets,
do you know what? That's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm saying. So would you say, do you ever see girls in your gym and see them struggling and thinking you need to eat more? Is that diet culture there in that area, or no?
I would say a lot of the young ones that are coming through that are taking it serious are like, gosh, they're wanting to eat more. They're eating more than ever.
I'm good with CrossFit.
And so like it is like big on getting the fuel in and everything. So I would say, like, I think it's quite a healthy kind of way to be in it. Like, I'm saying CrossFit because that's my thing, but I suppose functional training is not quite the same, because that does all tend to be more endurance based, doesn't it? Like in CrossFit, we have like specific strength days and specific days. Like we always have most days we'll have some form of a strength element to it. Some days we'll just purely have a strength element. So it's definitely there's more like kind of strength training in CrossFit, I would say, than there is in like your hybrid functional type class. I suppose it all depends on the program in the gym, a caveat with that, but I think diet culture is a real funny one as well, because I do think it's really hard for kids now with social media and stuff like that, with algorithms and like the whole, like, I remember the young ones in my gym, or some of the younger coaches that I follow and I'm friends with, talking about skinny talk or whatever, and I'm like, I don't see any of that, but that's because I'm into
I've never really heard of that.
All I've ever seen skinny talks is like they're all trying to get as skinny as they can.
Oh really?
So like all my For You page is people snatching and clean and jerking and heavy back squatting. So it's all your algorithm. So then what's making all these young kids see all these like Hollywood Ariana Grande super skinny and make them
they're
want to be like that.
horrific looking now.
But I do think, interestingly, when you were talking about like people's upbringing and childhood, like my mum was definitely always like, my mum was never in a diet.
I love that.
So like I didn't really grow up seeing that, but I do remember and I've always been quite comfortable in my own skin, but I do remember when I was about 16, I did lose a lot of weight. And I think it was that age where you start getting boobs and hips and all this, and I did gymnastics at the time and I didn't really like it, and I did consciously try and eat less. I would try to skip dinner and tell my mum I'd had a chippy on the way home from school or whatever when I hadn't and stuff like that. So I think everybody kind of goes through it to a certain extent, but I don't think it's always that they want to be skinny. I think sometimes younger kids battle with changes in their body. Just when if you've been a beanpole your whole life, and then all of a sudden things are changing. Of course. And with it.
And you're right, it doesn't always come from home. Like, you can you'll know, use with kids, so you'll know more than anybody, but like, you can do all the work you want with your kids, but when they go to school, man, it's a whole fucking different kettle of fish.
Like my sister, she, I'm sure she wouldn't mind me saying, like, so my niece is 13 and is an absolute wee unit. Like, she is.
I love that.
You think I look like an athlete? This girl, if Zara doesn't end up a bloody Olympic medalist in some sport, I don't know what, but she looks incredible. Like, she's honestly get her legs up to her armpits, like quads, abs, shoulders. Like, she does gymnastics, she does athletics, anything she does, she's just a total sporty kid. Beginning to start development at 13, her body is insane, like absolutely insane. And obviously she's surrounded by, like, my sister's the same as me, into fitness, my aunt's into it, so she's my son's into it, his girlfriend's into it, so she's surrounded by all these like strong women. But she thinks it's the most like positive environment for her to be in. But like you say, like, she obviously hears at school people saying things, so Lorna says she's still making comments like, oh my god, I feel fat and everything, and Lorna's like that's the girl is getting not one shred of fat on her. So it isn't just the home environment, it's peers, it's school, it's I suppose it's even if you do sports, it's comparing. You're saying about being competitive.
Yeah.
I think young folk are quite competitive in everything, so it's like comparing yourself constantly to something else. So
it's just not really anything that we didn't grow up with social media, so like, well, I'm assuming none of us grew up with social media. Didn't really, like, obviously have that. Like, you just had your home life, your school life, that was it. You didn't have that, didn't have that like side of things to deal with.
I'm so grateful. So grateful with that.
I think a lot of it's just the world we live in, and I'm a little bit torn with it when it comes to coaching as well, because I think I don't, especially this past year with like the kind of changes I've made, I don't like the whole like build your food up, diet down. Like, I do agree that I think it can be dangerous territory. I know for me there was parts where I didn't do well for me certain points, but also like everybody wants everyone tomorrow now, right? And like, see, when you're coaching, like somebody's coming to coach you, let's be realistic, building muscle takes 10 years, right? Let's just say 10 years, right? You're not taking on a client and going, okay, so like we'll do a 10-year roadmap, and like they're like, I'm not fucking going to be here for 10 years, like I want to look different by next year. So you're like, right, well, you do kind of need to, sometimes you do need to speed that process up a little bit and like sort of do the whole, right, let's push food a little bit, and let's like, you know, like get you eating more, and then get diet a wee bit to pull off what, like, you're not I don't always say I'm forced into that, but like if you're looking to see a visible change in somebody over a year or two or whatever, like you do then put those things into place.
But I do think though as well, it's like, not for me, like training, any kind of training, it's the feeling of accomplishing something. So it's the feeling of getting better, doing one extra rep, doing one extra kilogram. It's that getting better all the time. So I think even though somebody comes with you with this very clear idea of a way they want to look in 6 to 12 months or whatever, I think if you start them on it and people start feeling the difference in their energy levels, they start noticing improvement in their performance in terms of whether it's, I don't know, like a functional or a bodybuilding, whatever, they see improvement. I think people are really driven by the feeling that they're getting better, and then quite often, without even realising, like the changes in the body happen. Yes, it might not be super extreme, but they will start dropping a few kilograms, and they might start, oh look, I've got a wee bicep now and stuff like that. So that's what keeps them motivated and keeps them going, and it's dead sustainable. Like, I do think, like I say, this new programme I've started, and like the ladies have got a real focus on calories and protein, stuff like that. And I'm doing it with them, tracking just now, because I think, well, if I'm telling them to, I'm going to do it, and then we're sharing my fitness pal, so it's not always perfect, but have a look at how my eating's going as well. But it's hard to maintain, and if you do these extreme things, like you do get to the stage. I mean, I'm even looking at people's freaking diaries Monday to Thursday, and I'm like, that guys, you have been like under eating, if you ask me, because obviously they're like that, I'm starting this new thing, and I'm telling them this is the calories you should be trying hitting for like slow, sustainable kind of fat loss while still training, and they're all like under it, but I think they're like, I'm on it. And see, when you're on it, like, and you think you're on it, you're saying you're on it, you don't tend to stay on it for that long. So I just think trying to find like something, helping them find a way to feel passionate about their training and their own lifestyle and their wellness, so it's like it's almost becomes a part of their life. And then I think a lot of the time they might not end up with a 6-pack, or they might not end up stage ready or whatever, but most of the time I think people will be happier with the improvements that have been made in all aspects of their life, not just their physique.
I would agree.
I think it's interesting that you talked about like going from the surplus into the deficit. And you might not agree, but I personally think spending time for a female in a surplus and intentionally doing that, I think that's incredibly healthy. For women. That doesn't, have to mean that, okay, now because you've spent X amount of time in a surplus, you then now need to go into a deficit. But like, I don't particularly think, unless you are within the bodybuilding industry, that there is an extreme surplus and an extreme deficit. I think you can healthily be in a mild surplus and a mild deficit. I don't think there has to be, one or the other. And if anything, the majority of my girls will most likely spend time in more of a mild surplus than what we actually really ever do in a deficit, more from a hormonal standpoint, 100%. From a training performance standpoint. Like, a lot of, again, kind of what we spoke about previously about diet and culture, a lot of women come to me, they're not eating enough.
Aye, that's the issue. They come to you and they're on crap calories. They're like, I want to diet, and I'm like, where? Where?
And because of that, they're not training hard enough. They're overtraining, they're underperforming. So like, I will always try and encourage, you know, a mile, it doesn't have to be a fucking 4,000, 5,000 calories. No. But I mean, a good couple of 100 calories above your maintenance to also be able to look forward to, do you know what, I actually want to pull food back a wee bit and feel a wee bit fresher. But I think it is when these women are constantly just chasing this deficit all the time, you're getting nowhere. Does that make sense?
I actually really agree with that. Like, I think that's a fucking really good point, because like I think people do think of it in extremes, like extreme surplus, like extreme deficits. Like a lot of the time it isn't. It's just like very mild in both directions. Like you're not doing these unless you're somebody who, like, your food you push your food really high. Like, and you do get some clients you can push them high, and you do see these bodybuilders online, and I think girls are like, I want to push my food, and I'm like, it's never going to, it's unnecessary, you're never going to get there anyway, you're just going to feel fucking shite for it. It's not, MD thinks eating like 4,000 calories a day is enjoyable, is at it, it's brutal. Like, it's not enjoyable.
People would probably assume Ali eats that amount of food because of our lifestyle, but
I think
why would you want
like, I could easily eat 4,000 calories a shite. You're trying to put good
for
food
like
in your
5 days, you wouldn't even want to do that after 5 days.
I think a lot of the time you kick them up to maintenance and that's enough. Because a lot of them don't eat in maintenance. They're like you said, they're always either dieting. Like the amount of women I've taken on, and they'll say I want to diet, and I'm like, where's your calories sitting? They're like, I eat like 1,300 calories a day, and I'm like, where am I meant to diet you to? Like, no offend, we need to pull you out of that. Like,
I think as well, there's such a lack of education.
Definitely.
We grow up, I mean I don't know about MD else, but we grow up in school not understanding anything about nutrition, right? We get told, what was it, fucking 5 portions of fruit and veg a day. That's it, right? That's it. You're not taught to understood. I fucking need to go back to school. Fucking hell. You're not taught to understand, you know, the purpose of each macronutrient, or the reason as to why carbs are really, really healthy for you as an individual, and you help you play sport.
Absolutely.
And fat doesn't actually, you eat fats and they're actually really, really good for your hormones. We don't need to break it down to complete scientific fact, but it needs to be encouraged. Like, especially as, obviously when I grew up with disordered eating, I didn't have a clue about what any of this meant.
Me either.
None of it, and I didn't start learning until I was way into my, teens. So like, I think I don't know now about the generation now, because I don't really know what it's like for them at school, but for the women, usually from 25 upwards, we grew up in just knowing 5 fruit and veg. But then you're freaking out, because I get told tomatoes have too much sugar. I'm like, oh, can't have that. That's
can't eat fruit.
So then we're like, we restrict ourselves from so many food groups that then we do get used to just eating, 1,200-1,300 calories a day. That's our new normality. And then that is essentially now why this diet culture it's out of fucking control, and women are scared to eat because of everything that they've been taught growing up, that it's just fucking 5 portions of fruit and veg and they're sound.
But people, you pretty much hit the nail on the head. It's almost this fear of, can't eat carbs. Why not?
I know.
And if you notice, all of a sudden everyone's gluten intolerant, and I'm like, but are you though? And they're like, I'm gluten intolerant, and I'm like, did you get like how do you know that? Oh, I just know when I eat it my tummy gets upset. And I'm like, so why alright, how do you know you're intolerant though? And they're like, well, every time I eat it, and I'm like, well, how often do you eat it? Well, I don't. And then when I do eat it, and I'm like, well, that's why. That's why. I've not had pizza in 6 months, and I know if I eat it, my insides are going to kill me for a wee bit.
Gluten and dairy intolerance.
That's it.
This is the new.
Dairy's a big one.
And it's like, or you could just eat normal. Just eat food in moderation, and you're not going to have any issues.
No, I think that. I'm like, somebody comes to me and like, oh, I'm gluten and dairy intolerant. I'm like, all right, you ever been tested for like celiac?
100%.
No. I'm like, we'll go to doctors and get tested.
100%, yeah.
Oh no, I've never ate gluten. I'm like, this is the reason that you've got, issues with binging, because you're not giving yourself enough opportunity to have different foods. So this is why X, Y, and Z. Like, just
but what are you binging on? I'm going to guess a shitload of gluten that you've been starving yourself of.
There's no bad food. You need to be in a position to to allow yourself to have treats and to eat whole foods and to have maybe 80-20 or 90-10 or fucking 70-30, whatever suits you in your lifestyle best. But I think we have just gone up with so much restriction over the years, and obviously that the 90s with the whole was it heroin?
It was the waif look, the Kate Moss. And did you ever feel pressure at that, Ali? Have you ever in the past felt like
did. Yeah, like I remember
the whole Victoria Beckham look and all that?
I didn't really like the Victoria Beckham look, but maybe I was a bit older and wiser when she was out.
Yeah,
but certainly like your supermodel, like your waifs and all that.
Yeah,
I'm not terribly sure. I suppose that was the same era as like your Cindy Crawfords and all that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I do feel as though those supermodels, apart from Kate Moss, were. I mean, apart from her, there was a few that looked. I didn't the waif and the heroin chic and all that.
Yeah.
Nah, not so much. But I do think even now, like your Victoria's Secrets models and stuff, like a lot of them are curvier girls and stuff like that. That's definitely why I don't really get the whole thing that skinny's back with kids, because I feel as though young folk are more into fitness. I mean, you go to one of these commercial gyms like that are cheap as chips and it's full of teenagers. Wasn't like that before, so I feel as though like more females, guys have always been quite into it, but more females are into like training and stuff like that now. And they all want to build a booty and all this kind of stuff.
Definitely.
But maybe that is just the people I'm surrounded with. So that's why I'm always a bit confused by, oh no, skinny's back in. And I'm like, who?
I know.
I know. Who wants to be like Jay? I don't know who person.
Skinny. I know. That's because that's your environment, is that?
Yeah. So which like amazing.
I did speak to a girl though who has a daughter who's maybe about 14 or 15, and like she was saying that the girls have like competitions to see who can eat the least calories in a day.
I see stuff.
And then I'm like, maybe that's a problem.
For me, it doesn't appeal to me because I know exactly what I need to do it, and I'm like, that does not appeal to me. I do not do well with not enough food. And that's not for me. I'd just rather have a bit more fat on me because I can't imagine not eating.
Yeah, but especially if you're not built like that. The dangerous thing is now that
there's a lot more pathways for people to get skinnier.
Oh, here we go.
We don't need to go down that route, but it's not a case of like you have to really starve yourself anymore, is it?
No.
Like there's a lot of avenues you can go down now, which is what makes it actually dangerous now. Whereas back in the day, like it was a case of if you want to look like that, then starve yourself.
Yeah,
you can kind of do it differently nowadays.
Do you think people care more because like of social media and all that? Like
definitely,
like the young ones.
Of course,
care,
like, again, it's just your environment into it. It's like what you're looking at all the time. Like we spoke about this in our podcast, but girls who are say they're like prepping for photo shoots or bodybuilding shows, whatever, and their algorithm's full of like people eating burgers and fucking dinner. I'm like, why are you wondering why you fucking get a terrible relationship with food? Like your algorithm is people eating donuts. It's just like wee lassie's algorithm is women with arms like fucking skinnier than that. Do you know what I mean? It's like, why are you wondering why all they care about is being skinny? It's like you're just surrounded by it all the time.
Yeah, it is terrifying. Like I always did want a girl, and I'm now kind of glad I've got boys, because I just think, see, especially for women, it's like I've got nieces and they're looking at all these heavily filtered girls and thinking, I want to look like that, and they've had BBLs and they've had everything, and you just think, but that's not normal. But it's worse for them. Like, me and you spoke about this in a podcast previously. I had a really bad eating disorder, and it was like a pure penny drop moment for me with a therapist, where in the therapy session I kept saying, no, I need to be like 8 stone, I need to be like 8 stone. And I remember her saying to me, like, what, can I ask something? Why 8 stone?
Where did this number come from?
Where did you pull that number from? And it always stuck in my head that my mum used to always say when she got married she was 8 stone. And in my head I'm going, I'm not 8 stone, I'm like 11. I need to lose like 3 stone. And in my head it was drilled into me, them always talking about this growing up, about just calories, and I need to weigh this, and and at a young age I remember thinking, I don't weigh 8 stone. I should be 8 stone. Wait a minute, I'm heavier than my mum and I'm younger than her. And when she got married, she was 8 stone, and I'm like 15 and I'm not 8 stone. Like, and it totally fucks my head. But I never made that connection till they said, where did 8 stone come from?
But that's where social media and stuff can be quite good on the internet though, because quite often you see these things, it's like, I don't know, like 65 kilograms, and it's like, this is 65 kilograms and this is 65 and this is, so it's like maybe 4 or 5 people, females, let's just say, 'cause it's mostly females when we're talking about weight or body image, but and they all look completely different.
Totally different.
So it's quite nice to see. Sometimes it actually doesn't really matter what you weigh because it's all about
100%.
Well, it's like social media is just a blessing and a curse, isn't it? There's a lot of good and there's a lot of bad. It's like coaching, there's a lot of good, there's a lot of bad. Like, it depends where you're going, what you're having.
I think for me, I'm so triggered by that. So it was like, I had a client who, we were talking on the phone. No, she was in the car and she was crying down the phone to me, having a pure meltdown over having like a binge. And I'm like, you need to calm down. It's just food. Like, can't. But I heard this wee voice in the background, and I was like, "Who are you in the car with right now?" She's like, "My daughter's sitting in the back," and I'm like, "Trigger." I was the next time I seen her, I'm like, "You don't do that in front of your kid." Like, even now, even though I've got boys, it can still affect boys. But me and Ross never talk about weight or feeling fat because I'm so aware of that because of how I grew up. Like, I will never in front of my kids go, "I'm dead fat. I feel this," because you do pick that shit up, and I'm so aware of that, and I say that to my clients. I'm like, I know it sounds ridiculous, but you need to be aware of the way you're speaking in front of your kids. See the way you're talking and demonising food and talking about weight and talking about you're a bad person or you're a fat whatever or name it. Like, their wee minds pick up
into that
everything, and it totally triggers me. I know it sounds
although as a parent, I did fat shame my oldest son. You know how they go, you talk the Americans, they talk about the freshman 15, and it's like when the Americans, they're freshmen, they put on 15 pounds. Ben started university and went to halls of residence, and I swear to God, in like 4 months he was the freshman 15, but his 15 was 15 kilograms. I basically sent him off to uni 85 kilograms and they came back 100, and I'm like, what the heck?
What's happened to you?
Well, like, no money, and then I'm like, what are you doing with your money? Like, all your money. And he was like, not wanting to tell me and stuff like that, and it's none of your business. I'm 18, and I'm like, I want to know. Like, I'm giving you money, I want to know. And I was starting to think, he's skint all the time, and I'm like, maybe he's like smoking weed or something like that. And then when I looked at his bank account, it was like Pisano, Domino's, Subway. And then out at pubs, and I'm like, well, that explains the freshman 15.
He walks back in, you're like, oh, there's the money. That's
and then he used to be like, you're out of order, fat shaming me. I'm like, you're fat. Because he did something about it, but it was quite light-hearted. But I think
he's in a healthy environment for you, and that's like funny, isn't it? Like, I'll even joke about that, like, even after my shoot, I'm like, I'm already 3 kilos here, and he's like, you fat bitch. And we'll joke about it, but when it's serious stuff like that though, there's a difference between you're joking like that and you're greeting in the phone because you've ate a fucking pack of cookies. Like, what is happening here? Your kid going, what happens if we eat a pack of cookies?
I agree massively.
When it comes to like client, I don't know what to call it, but like client, we've probably got the same client struggles. I would imagine everybody gets similar things. But like, do you have anything? I think it would be quite interesting because everybody probably expects you to come on the podcast and be like and like, oh, things are good and like. Do you have anything you struggle with? Things that you find really hard? Things that like you're like, oh, it's murder, or I hate doing that, or this is shite, or
this isn't really anything to do with like my actual job, right?
It doesn't need to be like with clients, don't need. Like, don't need
no, it kind of is.
Sandra's a bastard.
But I absolutely hate voice notes.
Oh my God!
You could be my friend then.
I only voice note.
From so
I know where she's going.
I sometimes forget what people's voices actually like. Every time my phone's on 2 times, so
let's say, and it's just because I'm a busy girl.
Oh, somebody sends like a 10-minute voice note.
I hate that.
To the fucking point.
But it's like, 1 10-minute voice note is fine, right? See, when you've got 6 clients sending you a 10-minute voice note,
100%.
Right? So that's 60 minutes. Put that in 2 times speed, that's 30 minutes. So you're taking just to listen to something, right? As you're listening to that, you need to be writing down notes as you're listening to that, because you're going to miss something, and then they ask you something about that voice, and you're like, shit, now I need to listen back to that, right?
Of course.
So then that's only the first message they've sent. Then they're sending you another voice note. It's another 7 or 8 minute song. So you can act, honestly, being at times spending 4 or 5 hours listening to voice notes, and I'm like, this is not a way to communicate. See, when there's no, like, what's the word when you're doing a chain, like you've got
a structure?
No. Like, if you're back, why are you gonna have my fucking brain over today? See, when you've got a record of everything, right?
Yeah.
So see if I can open a WhatsApp and there's a record of every single message, I've got reference points that I can go back to, and I'm like, right, boom boom. See in a voice note, and I'm like, I don't know what's happening in that voice note.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
so
of course.
For me, voice notes within my job, I find extremely frustrating. I find them very, very frustrating, to be honest. But that is the
next time I'll be like voice note, like fuck.
It's like, hi.
Oh my god, that does annoy me. And they're like, and then like, oh sorry, there's a car going by. Wait now. I need to eat. I'm like, oh my god, I'm just listening to you make your breakfast now.
Oh, I can't believe that.
Fucking hell.
It's so I just get a wee bit frustrated if there's too many people voice noting me big long messages. I'm like, all you need to do is just say hi to Tayla, this is what's happened. And I'm like, right, cool, that could attain 2 minutes, but then I'm spending 4 or 5 hours a day listening to voice notes.
Yeah.
It's like basically somebody leaving you constantly 10-minute voicemails. Like,
which I hate. I don't even phone me. I'm like, is this textable? Why are you phoning me?
I just think it's easier to say something, and I also think that sometimes when you write something, it doesn't come across the way you wanted it to come across. I'm quite conscious of that. Like I'm trying to say something to somebody, I'm like, if I type that, I'm going to sound like an arsehole. So if I say it, I'm like, do you know what I mean? And then it's a bit more palatable for the person.
That's fair.
I get that.
I just like being clear, concise, and to the point. Like, I
do get it from a productivity point. That is really frustrating when you've only got so much time a day and you're like that taken up with like voice notes.
Like I'll come out this podcast and I'll probably sit in the car for 9
You won't get any anymore. As of Monday,
I was about to say, after Monday, it's never going to happen again. Yeah. I actually get clients that will say to me, right, but I actually sometimes need to voice note them, because see if I send them a text and I miss out certain amount of kisses, they'll be like, are you mad at me? You didn't give me the other 2 kisses. And I'm like, no, I swear.
That's so
not me.
Funny. What about you, if you get in, it doesn't need to be like clients, it can just be things that you
I was going to ask, what's the question?
You could be like, just a struggle, like, do you struggle with is there anything that you struggle with, like, I don't know, training wise, food wise, lifestyle wise, like anything you're like, oh, like actually fit. Do you know what clients come to you and they've always got the same things that they struggle with? Do you like relate to any of them, or do you think there's nothing really that you're like, no, I can relate to that? No.
You mean like Ali personally, not from a client perspective?
I genuinely no.
I love
no struggles.
Absolutely.
Maybe it's because I don't put myself in situations or positions where I have the potential to struggle. Do you know what I mean? I sit in my comfort zone maybe to a certain. Well, sometimes I do, but I don't think so. I wouldn't say. I think most clients that I come across, the struggles that they have is they almost want a lifestyle, and they've got this idea of how they want to live their life, but they're not. Most of the time, they're not fully bought into it, and it's really hard to get people. That's why I think that like small habit changes are definitely better, and then like if you make these small habit changes, you start seeing some successes, like regular successes and consistency. Then I think human nature is that you want to get a bit better. Like I'm saying that I'm in my comfort zone, but I am always trying to better myself. But I don't know. I wouldn't say I mean, on paper though, I probably have loads of challenges. I mean, I've got a child with special needs. I've got lots, but I don't really see that. Maybe it's the way I frame things.
Do you come across that a lot with clients, like that they, because of who you are and your physique, and like, do you come across that a lot? Like, I just want to be like you, and you're like, well, you need to live a certain life to be like that.
Yeah, I don't know if people want to be like me. I definitely think people are inspired by the fact, like, how much energy I have at my age and how I juggle things and stuff like that. Maybe because I do feel as though like I have quite a healthy balance in the sense of I take my training really seriously, but I spend as much time socialising with friends and family and stuff like that. So I do feel as though somehow I've managed to achieve like a really healthy life balance, whereby from outsiders looking in, it looks like I'm a total serious trainer, like serious. But I'm not overly like. Yeah, but I dial in when I need to, like doing a competition. Yeah. I've been so consistent. I think that's the biggest thing for clients that don't understand that. Like, I don't see it as a challenge. I don't see it as the way I live my life in terms of like training 5-6 times a week. Like for me, that's like just a privilege to be able to do that, and it's something I look forward to. And I think that everybody could have a training style that motivates them more than others. Like for some people it might bloody be Zumba, but if that's your jam, that's your jam. So I think I always would try and say to people, find the stuff that really kind of you enjoy, because at the end of the day, if you're not enjoying it, then you're not going to keep doing it, and you're not going to see the point of it, and life's for living. But for me, training is like such a cool part of my life. Like I really look forward to most of my sessions. Love meeting new people, like that thing we did last week, maybe going into your gym. Like I loved that. Like I was literally like a creature in new habitat. Like I was like, what the hell are all these machines doing? But it's
I feel like you got on a leg extension and you were doing it, and then you were asking those questions. I was like, you never been in a leg extension? You're like, no. I was like, what?
I like a dumbbell and barbell.
I love that. It's a fucking leg extension. Like, you never been in one.
But yeah, I feel so I don't personally feel I have any struggles. Like I'm fortunate. Like as I say, people looking in might be like, oh, she's got it hard. Like her wee boy, like my Alfie's 18. He's going to be with me forever. Do you know what I mean? People are like, oh, it's a shame. Like. But I'm like, I don't actually see it as a shame.
I love
that. I'm actually quite happy I've got him forever. He's a bit of a buffer between me and the husband, isn't he? So I guess maybe it's how you frame things. I think. Don't get me wrong, I have my moments like everybody else where I'll grumble about stuff, but I genuinely think that most things I just try and find a positive spin on it.
I'm just going to, do you know what I'm going to do going forward? See all my clients that are like in your age bracket that moan. And do you know what I hate more than anything is when people go, oh, I'm too old to do that now. But now that I'm turning fit, I can't. And I'm like, look at this.
I know, but see, the other thing though, Nikki,
that drives me crazy.
About, like, even, like, I think why... Like I know, like some of my friends like get quite stressed if they're like, oh my god, I've got hundreds of washings to do, or my house, I'm not cleaning my house properly for like 5 days. I'm a bit like, things like that don't really bother me. Don't get me wrong, my house isn't like, my house is nice, but things like that, I'm just like,
but it is about perspective.
I'll catch up. So I don't get stressed about things that like if I'm like, I've got 2 hours, am I going to clean my house, which needs doing, or am I going to go to the gym?
100%.
I'm going to the gym, guys.
But
then I don't feel bad about it.
A lot of people, that's because you love the gym. Like a lot of people, it's just avoidance in it. They're just like, I really needed to clean my house. And I'm like, I mean, you didn't, but you didn't want to go to the gym. Like,
that's like, exactly it. Yeah.
Like that's just an avoidance.
You made a choice and what was important.
I know you're saying people avoid it, and I think that not everybody loves it, but I think a big part of the problem is people don't really know what they're doing.
100%.
So I don't even think it's that they don't like it. It's like I do think people go into the gym, and unless they have a PT or they have a bit of experience, and even like they could be following an online program, but that's hard to do if you don't have a bit of experience as well. Like for example, I even said to you guys last week, if I'd walked into your gym last week on my own, I would honestly be like really uncomfortable, like where to start, like wouldn't have a clue, because it was like just not something I'm used to. And I think a lot of time you expect people to like sign up to JID and then like start your fitness journey, and I just think that it's people don't really know what they're doing. And I say actually as an example, I have one of my friends, like a lot of my I call them like my OGs, like some of my pre-gym friends, and most of them aren't really overly into fitness, to be fair, and one of them in particular was completely not into fitness at all until about 5 years ago. She's about 52 now, but she joined one of these kind of small group things locally with other women kind of our same age, like the kids were at school or whatever, and it was like say 8 of them paying whatever a month, and it was like 3 sessions a week, kind of coach led and stuff like that. And now she's so much more confident. She couldn't have done that by just joining a pure gym, so she needed that kind of small group coached environment just for confidence and just to know what she's doing. And probably now if she was to walk into commercial gym, she'd be like, okay, I kind of know this is what I normally do with Ali, so this is what I'm going to do here. So I don't even know if I fully believe that people just hate it and just don't want to do it. I think a lot of times it's like doing something that you're not really confident or comfortable with.
Yeah, true, you do. There is a lot of people like that. There is a lot of people that do, from experience, I think avoid as well, like just to
I think your environment affects everything, and that's even the people you say like
about it.
I don't get no, obviously, because we all love it. Like it's like baffling that people would not want to do it.
I think there's a lot of people like, I mean, I certainly coach a lot of girls that really struggle with their mental health and their anxiety, and I think that can be a massive stumbling block for a lot of women stepping into the gym, or if they are really confident in the gym but maybe they're just having a really bad day, and they don't want to show up, not because they don't want to try and be their best version, but they just genuinely, they're so anxious or feeling sick that they can't eat. All they want to do is get to the work, go home, go to bed. And I think again, this is where like social media can affect how somebody's journey can be. So like you'll get all of these what they call business coaches now saying, yeah, you just get your client to fucking check in. If your client doesn't check in, you just need to sack them off. And I'm like, you do realise that, you know, a client has hired you because they need help. They're not already that perfect client.
Yeah.
You need to teach them to try and be the best client that they can be, but they're not, some weeks they're just fucking surviving. They're not thriving.
Yeah.
So, like, I think I'm quite, I wouldn't say I'm mega lenient, but I would say I'm very compassionate as a coach.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Whereas, like, some people are like, I didn't go, but my nerves are shattered today, and I'm like, right, well, let's talk about it. Like, and I always say to them, I can't give advice, but I'll listen to you.
Yeah.
And I think, like, that can sometimes be the difference as well, by people showing up or not. Does that make sense?
Oh,
I do find that quite interesting, because I feel as though, like, my husband and I used to talk about this years ago, about how people qualified as PTs and then were almost like promoting themselves as life coaches.
Yes.
And I think it was quite frustrating when you do 22-year-old life coach expert in all areas. But I do think, though, clients are needing more than just somebody to tell them what exercises to do. I think they're going to a PT or an online coach for more than just 3 sessions a week to do in the gym.
Of course.
So it's almost like you sit your level 3 PT, but actually we should all be going and sitting some bloody psychology qualification.
We were saying that in work today. So there was a girl came into the gym the other day and she was asking, so, and it's a very valid thing, right away just ask your prices, right? Because they'll come in and be like, or I get it all the time, somebody will message me and go like, oh, I'm interested in coaching, can you tell me what your prices are? And then coaches have this weird thing where they're like, well, the thing is, and they're like, we need to get on a call first, and then the person's like, I fuck off, I just want to know what I'm paying, you know what I mean? But coaches don't want to say what they're paying, right? But I kind of get it, because it's like, see, when you say to a person, I charge X, that person goes, oh, for 1 hour's PT that person charges X, and I'm like, but you're not just getting 1 hour's PT.
100%.
So the reason I don't just want to tell you a number right now is because you'll value me on 1 hour in the gym.
Yeah.
And I can promise you now that it's never just 1 hour in the gym. It's a fucked it, and I'm not going to sit here and go, it's such a hard job, because it's not. It's a fucking easy job, right? But like, and everybody else does a normal job, but there's a lot more to it than 1 hour or that check-in you do for that person. You'll know that, everybody knows that. There's so much more to it that the person is paying for. When somebody's been your client for 6 months or a year or 2 years, and then somebody new comes in and goes, oh, it's X, Y, and Z, they go, aye, but it's way more than that. You get way more than, like, that's actually really cheap for what you're getting. Yeah. But I think people go, well, I want 1 hour with you in the gym for, so what do you charge? I'm like, well, you're not just getting 1 hour in the gym for. Unless you're somebody who knows exactly what you're doing and you're a robot and you're going to go home and tick all these boxes yourself, and then you're just going to check in every week and go, brilliant, you just want a pat in the back, like, you're not going to get 1 hour.
No. And it's, was it me and you, was it M10 when we were doing our kind of mentoring course, and I don't know if it was Mark Coles that said that, I can't remember if it was him or Dan, and it totally just made me go, that's wow. And what he basically said is, when he was onboarding somebody and they were talking about his price and this and that, and he kind of said, listen, I'm not being funny here, but I'm going to be one of the most important people in your life. He goes, because this guy came to him with like really high cholesterol, with all these issues, and he goes, I'm that bridge that stops you seeing a doctor. He goes, so see you coming to me with like, you've got high cholesterol, you've got all these issues. He goes, see, when we work together, I'm going to bring all that shit down, and I'm going to be that bridge that stops you getting into further health decline and further health issues. He goes, so I'm now one of the most important people in your life. And I thought, that's such a cool way to think about it, because that is true.
That's true.
Like, we take on these people with all these issues that maybe if they haven't came to us and continue doing that, they end up having heart attacks down the line, or they end up having, and you think, I never thought of myself like that. But see, now when I do sit and think about it, and not in a big-headed way, I have worked with people who did come to me with, like, they were either really, really obese and had loads of, like, kind of health issues, and they don't have that anymore. And I'm like, it's almost like that pure Scrooge moment where you're like, what would happen if you continued down that path? And they do say, like, you've turned my life around. Like, you've probably had it yourself. We've all probably had those people that go, you've totally turned my life around. And you don't actually take that on when you think about it. You do think, like, oh, don't be daft, oh, that's so nice. But to them, you probably did. You probably, and I'm a massive believer in, like, there's nothing better than, see, for me, an aesthetic goes, aye, it's great. But see, when you genuinely see that person that was first terrified walking into a gym or your class or whatever, and now you watch them and they're fucking smashing it, and they're wearing the tighter clothes, and they're like, or the vest top, or they're doing pull-ups, or they're feeling amazing, or they know their way around the gym, or and you do kind of sit and go, that's pretty cool. And I'm a massive believer in you are who you hang with. And I think that's why I like to surround myself with people like yourselves, because it is always positive. And see, when life is hard going, like yourself with your son, or like even just kids, or like just life in general, and then you've got women like that, and you're like, no, I'm good. Like, these are the people I want to surround myself with, because they always pick you up. And it's funny, I think one of the biggest compliments in the world is, I had a client that said to me, do you know what's mental? She goes, see general pop, like, and I was a general population person. She goes, I always thought people like you would judge me. And it was like, I'd go in the gym and not have a clue, and people like yourselves would go, what are they doing here? They've not got a clue what they're doing. She goes, I've never had hate for somebody in your position. She goes, because if anything, yous are always the ones that are like, you've got this, come on, you can build it up. And she goes, it's fucking people like my pals that are saying, what are you getting in there for? They people are full of themselves. And I'm like, it's actually so back to front, it's crazy.
We all started in the same position.
We're all buzzing to see people smashing out a rep, or like hitting a special goal, or like, if anything, it's like such a cool environment to be in. And these are the people you want to surround yourself with, because you want to see these people win.
100%.
It's wild how back to front it is, though, isn't it?
I think it's different hobbies, isn't it? Different hobbies, different interests. Like,
yeah.
See if somebody told me that, I was at boozing for 2 days, I'd be like, we did that for. But then, I'll say, I'm training back to back for 4 days. And they're like, what are you doing that for? It's different hobbies and interests, isn't it?
Yeah. But it is wild how the world is. We were talking about this before, how like even my dad will say it, like, when I was doing my photo shoot prep, I would go around like my Tupperware, which is pretty sad, but it was for a specific reason. I don't do that now. I'm like, yeah, get me in on that, whatever you're ordering. But he'd be like, look at that, what are you eating that for? And I'm like, Dad, it is literally chicken, potatoes and like veg. It's like normal foods, but people will go, what are you eating like that for? As though it's weird. And you're like, that's normal foods. What you're doing isn't normal. I know. But we live in a society where they think the bodybuilders or the crossfitters that eat clean is like boring and sad. You're like, that's food. That's like normal. What you're doing isn't fucking normal.
I quite like just the boring food, to be honest.
See, mince and rice, man. See, mince and rice, if you put peanut butter on it as well.
Hey, it's like seasoning your food.
Put peanut butter on mince and rice.
I've never
like almost like satay. See, if you do like a spicy rice, like a taco rice.
Wait, what kind of peanut butter?
Mince. Any kind of peanut butter.
We'll get the drizzler. Because try to put a dollop on just doesn't cut it. No, right. So you make mince just like taco mince. Don't put like a sauce in it. Just like dry seasoning with your mince.
Yeah.
And then like a nice sticky rice.
A game changer.
Like a VT.
A VT sticky rice. Right. I'm a weirdo, like eating plain rice, to be fair, but you can mix it if you want. And then drizzle with the peanut butter.
It's the game changer.
No, you can't tuck your nose up till you try that.
No, it's like, do you know what else is the game changer?
Phenomenal.
See, drizzle peanut butter.
I'm literally going home tonight.
I swear.
I can tell you already, I'm going to love this.
It's amazing. It's like satay. Also,
what is peanut butter drizzle though?
Peanut butter?
No.
That's going to be the opener of the reel for the podcast.
Wow.
What's peanut butter drizzler?
We're now expecting a story later of your Instagram trying.
Where did I buy it?
So now peanut butter's a pain in the arse, because when you weigh it out, it's just a big lump in it, and it just goes out, and you're like, what the fuck am I doing with that? So they brought out a drizzler, so you just drizzle it, and it comes out pure runny.
It's so much easier.
It comes out pure. But
I'm going to Google this to show Ali a picture.
Peanuts, right? There's no shite in it.
Your bodybuilding hacks.
There's no shite in it, right? But it's like, I don't know what they've done, man, but it drizzles it.
It tastes different.
See,
there's something in it.
See, pretty much peanut butter added to.
And see, when you're weighing out, you're like, fucking hell,
you do.
But then
it's like that. You'll have seen that.
I've done it with chicken and rice, but I've not done it with mince and
peanut butter.
I've done it with chicken and rice.
It's a game changer. Or see. And that's another one. See peanut butter like on your eggs.
Oh, peanut butter on it. I used to always do that either. My first meal.
That was definitely a diet meal for you.
That was a diet meal for me.
Game changer on an omelette.
Egg white. Well, I used to have egg white omelette with drizzler peanut butter.
It's like the best thing in the world.
Right,
we're opening doors here.
They're going to shut. I'm not feeling that quite so much.
It's well good, man.
Oh, it's so good. I bet peanut butter in your mince is like.
We'll do one question, then we need to do the Q&A. What's your weirdest food thing that you like?
Weirdest food thing that I like?
Yeah. Do you need a minute to think about it?
Oh, I need a minute. The weirdest food thing that I like?
Do you get any weird food things that you like?
I love, right, I'm not joking. Someone said to me that is honking until they tried it. Have you ever had like dips like grapes and hummus?
No.
Hummus, whatever you call
Never.
it.
No.
Oh,
That's weird.
It's weird, but it's one of those, you done it. I was drunk. Yeah, done it drunk once, and I'm like,
I'll tell you that's actually, I think that would probably be quite nice.
it's so
Right,
good.
I used to I'm gonna get slaughtered, man. A tin of tuna and like a tin of beans and mix it together, right?
No, I'm out.
Right,
Bye.
okay.
Oh, I can
Don't
I
knock
can
it till
talk
you've
you.
tried it, right? The fibre content's phenomenal, right? And the protein, right? Tin of tuna, tin of beans. So you need to do it specifically. You need to heat up the beans first and then take them out, put the tuna in. Don't put it back in the microwave, right? Just it'll warm through, right? And then salt and vinegar rice cake, right? Philadelphia, and put the beans and the tuna on the top. It's phenomenal.
We dining this time?
Go home and do it. No, I was
No,
doing
you
like
only
peak
what's the
balls.
excuse?
Peak balls.
Salt, vinegar, rice
Salt,
cake,
vinegar, rice cake,
tuna
Philadelphia.
and rice. Philadelphia and tuna
Then
and rice.
beans and tuna.
God, that's
Please.
even,
It's quite a
it's
mix.
even worse
Try
than
it.
the peanut butter and the egg. I would
No,
say.
I swear to God, right? We'll do next round. I'll bring it in.
No, I'll
Right,
try
okay.
it.
Well,
I'm up
good.
for trying it.
Well, you
So
know,
good.
I would
This is
try
what we
it
should
in
do.
16
The next
weeks.
one's going to be like, right, here's another one that you are going to go, that's maybe we're going to top you here. Tin of tuna and hearty vegetable soup. So good.
In the soup.
In the soup.
That's just kind of like the beans. It's quite similar.
I was like, I swear to God.
Like a tuna soup.
So it's like, but it's weird how it
Why's
doesn't
nobody
taste
ever
like
made that
it.
in a cafe?
Yeah. Again, such a good time. I swear.
You get me tuna soup? Then?
I don't think I've got any. So I'm a dead boring eater. Like I don't really like sauce. I don't really like.
What do you know it?
No, I just like plain.
You are an actual bodybuilder.
I just
you're like
plain
this why you're
foods.
good at what you do.
Don't like spicy food. I don't.
I don't like spicy food
anything
either.
like that. But
Can I do spice?
I wouldn't say I've got weird combos now, but I've definitely had a weird couple of weird gins in prep. Like out of order. Like I would have rice, mix it with a protein shake, mix it up, put it in the freezer.
Actually,
Put it in
that's like a
freeze.
rice pudding, isn't it?
Put it in the freezer. It'll
Is it
taste
like a rice pudding?
tastes like a wee bit like ice cream when you have it in the freezer. And then I have
Is it protein shake? Ice
I've
cream.
had-
Doesn't cut it with Ben and Jerry's though.
Why would you do that with the rice? Like, was there not a better use of those macros? No.
Did it fill you up more? Is that why?
I just enjoyed it.
I have to
It's
say,
like your
guys,
pregnancy
absolutely
cake.
nothing anybody says is going to trump a salt and vinegar rice cake. Philadelphia tuna and rice.
It's a very good point.
You can. You can knock it,
I am
man.
going to
but-
try it tonight, but
Honestly, man.
Literally
No,
pregnant
there much
women that
hope.
are screaming at this podcast going, it could well top that.
You need to put the tuna and beans need to be in a bowl though, and then the rice cake with the Philadelphia, and you need to kind of like spoon it on, because if you put it on all at once, it will just disintegrate.
Do you know what?
But
don't know.
I'm saying I've never been on a prep because
I
I was
know.
like, I was going to say, I quite like those wee processed crab sticks. That was going to be my whole
Wow.
I know.
Yeah.
Push the boat out, mate.
She's definitely never on a prep. I know.
One thing that I really do, and it's really bad though, and this is the first time I've ever admitted it, and I do this every single day, I have 18 sweeteners in my coffee.
18?
18?
Like,
Please,
we're
I'm
counting
actually
18? No.
I'm actually so gutted you've just said that, right? I've got a client who, I don't know if she'll watch
I
us,
have
right, but if
3.
she's watching this, she puts 20 sweeteners in her oats at night, and I give her such a hard time for it every single time.
Is this
I speak to her.
Ashley?
Uh-huh.
Okay, I knew it would be
And she's
Ashley.
going to watch this now and go, well, that's my pass. So,
Sorry.
be cutting that out.
Sorry.
What are we talking here? Like Splenda or like...
That's stinking, man.
It's only the purple ones that I like.
And one coffee.
I do have quite a big coffee. I only have one a day, but it started off with 2.
Do you even
then it
like
went to-
coffee? You wouldn't taste it.
I don't like coffee.
Just don't have the coffee then.
Don't like it that much.
That's why. Is it a black coffee? That makes sense. If it was a latte, that just wouldn't be happening.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
When do you stop?
I just wait
18's a good number. Leave it there.
And then, so Jordan, when I met Jordan, he's had black coffee. Now he's 50
That's
sweet.
what I think that's actually worse than the rice cakes.
He's 50.
Imagine you went to somebody's house, you're like, can I get a coffee?
18.
Like, sugar, sweetener, 18.
The thing is, I don't have digestive issues though. So if you've got digestive issues, don't listen to
Fucking
me.
hell,
Actually,
man.
can I?
You've opened up so many cans of worms.
I love that.
I'm just being honest. I'm being
I
honest.
was pushing the boat with 3. I'm like, I got 3. She's like,
I hate sweeteners, man.
My fingers actually
like
sore
coffee,
by
but-
the end.
no, what?
Right, do I do some end questions? We need to start with Ali's because she's obviously got Trump as well.
Aye.
Tell us your questions from Ali.
Oh, so our first question, hope I've still got it, is coming from a famous person. It is coming from Sabre the Gladiator, a friend of course, man. From CrossFit. How do I find out where my pictures are though? Because my story's gone. Sorry. Pat, go to somebody younger. I'm just going to need a couple of minutes.
Fucking hell.
You need to go to your
Did I go into archive?
Ali's the person that can get lost on her own phone. Like pure.
Is it? I'll be
archive. No signal in here anyway, guys.
Do you remember the question?
The question, so Shelley's question, she's really obviously a super good role model for young girls.
Yeah. Can we get her on?
Kids
love. Is that our way in?
That's our way in.
Yeah, can we get her on?
Kids obviously love gladiators, and she's really done a lot of work, whether it's consciously or whether it's just come from like her role in the gladiators.
Love that.
Like going out to like and try to inspire young girls into fitness, and she's really big in body confidence as well, because she's like a weightlifter herself. She's like a really accomplished
she's banging
weightlifter.
Yeah, she's absolutely gorgeous.
She's a big girl actually. She's in fantastic shape, but so she's very much like big on trying to promote like body positivity and motivating young girls to get involved in sport and fitness. So her question was along those lines. Sorry, can't get it, don't have a signal. But it was along the lines of like, how do you go about inspiring young girls to get into like fitness and sport? Like I say, I've not given it any great thought. I think my first thoughts on it would be, I think that it's a bit easier now, because I do think we were talking about the highs and lows of social media, but with social media, it's easier now to show young girls that you can be athletic and still be girly, and you can be lifting weights and still be girly. I suppose in my generation, this is going to make me sound like a dinosaur, but it was very much like Olympic lifting was like the poster girls for female Olympic lifting were big enormous Russians or, or like from the Eastern bloc of Europe, whereas now you've got like these girls lifting big heavy weights that look super glamorous. Like one of the best in the UK at the moment is a girl called Amy Kringle, and she is like the hottest girl ever.
That.
She has got the most incredibly fit but amazing body. Really nice person. She's got a huge presence in social media, and she's so inspirational for young girls. Whether you like it or not, a lot of young girls are put off with the idea of looking too manly or looking too big and strong. So I think that nowadays you've got a lot of like women, young girls and young women, and even older women like myself, who are lifting weights and are doing the fitness and are doing the sports, but still have an element of girliness about them. Social media is a really good platform to kind of demonstrate that. So I think for me as well, it's like, I think I've spoken about it a couple of times in this podcast already. It's just a huge part of it is just how you feel about it. So it's like having the confidence, and just trying to teach girls that actually, if you get to the gym and you feel better about yourself, not just how you look, but in terms of how you're performing, like the weights you're lifting, the movements you're doing, like you're improving week on week. Everybody loves to feel success, and it's a really easy inlet for people to find a way to feel successful.
Definitely.
I have done a few I wouldn't say sessions, but I've been invited into schools of young girls of like International Women's Day and stuff like that, and some of my friends who are teachers have invited me into different schools, and it's hard to know whether you're resonating with the young girls. Like the teachers are always, oh my god, they loved you, that was so inspirational, like thanks very much. But obviously the girls are just sitting looking at you as if you've got horns and as if like they would rather be anywhere else in the world. So it's hard to know whether like they find you relatable at all as an older woman, but I certainly think that a lot of the younger girls in the space, I think it's good to have that balance of you can be really sporty and athletic and fit and lift weights, but you're also, if you still want to do your cheerleading and your dancing and your makeup and your nails.
Well, you did do that. You were.
That's kind of what I always say to the girls. Like I was a cheerleader, I was a gymnast, I was a dancer.
Claymore's cheerleader.
I also like to lift weights. You don't need... I think a lot of girls these days, I mean, I even saw it in the schools, you would see the girls come in and you'd be like, okay, that's obviously the girls that are into football, that's the girls that are into cheerleading, that's the girls, the emo girls. You could actually see them all in wee buckets, and I think I tried to say, like, you don't really fit a bucket. Like, why do you have to place yourself in one bucket? You can do a bit of everything. You can do it all.
I've got a quick question. And And I meant to ask this last time, I totally forgot. Like, what does Ben and your boys think? Like, Ben think about, you must be quite a cool mum. Like, you must have been like, you'd be a cool mum. Until his pals fancy you. He must do.
I think he used to get some flaggings at school.
Slaughtered with his mum. I aim to be that mum one day.
Yeah, like for me, that was probably the happiest I felt. I remember my husband telling me when I think it was your podcast, when I came back from the games, when I think it was the year I won, so he would have been 18, and he'd started CrossFit by that stage because I'd got him into CrossFit kits and stuff, and like he was so proud of me, like, and I can't remember what he said, but when he watched me win it and Derek had said whatever he'd said watching the live stream, and I was just like, that's freaking amazing. Like, how cool is it that your 18-year-old son actually thinks you're really cool?
Aye, definitely. Like, does that not make you want to cry about it?
Oh,
like
not
that,
cry, just I'm like that.
That would make me want to cry.
Brilliant, do you know what I mean? And I think it's cool as well because I train with Ben. I love training with Ben.
Love that. That's
so,
I pray that I've trained my boys one day.
I love training.
Oh, you will? Oh, that is like, I keep saying, Ross, when can we get the win? When can we get the win?
So I definitely think but that again, it's because you're talking about hobbies. He's into the hobby, so for me to have, like, for my age, won the CrossFit Games when he's into CrossFit, like, he's like, that's amazing. But yeah, I definitely think he thinks, I think he quite likes having like a fit mum for sure. But we always have conversations in the house of like who's the strongest and all that.
I would like, imagine how funny would that be? You go to a party and there's your mom, you're like, oh fuck's sake.
But it's so funny because Ben is so strong. Like, so what's like, obviously, after his 15, what do you call it, freshman 15, he did a bit of a cut, consciously or not, but he's been right into CrossFit, so he's got, like, for his age, because what is he, 22, he's quite strong. Like, I think he like jerked 140 kilograms or something a couple of months ago, so he's dead strong. So we always talk about he's the strongest in the family, I'm probably second strongest.
I was like, it's Derek Nation, is
and then
you're
like Alfie. Who absolutely hates the fitness.
Always so.
I think it's because he doesn't understand like the discomfort required, you know, that way. But I'm persevering. With the guy
he ends up better than all you.
No, he's definitely got a bit of dyspraxia going on, and so he's a bit uncoordinated, and then he struggles with like numbers and all that. So like if he's counting something, like say squat, and he's like 6, 8. I'm like, no, 7. That's me. I'll
about 20.
Aye, that's definitely 19.
But so I don't think Alfie's aware so much. But he does, like, he's even all like, he's like, ooh, like he'll touch myself, that kind of thing. But he doesn't quite get it. But I definitely think that Ben is proud of me. So it's just nice.
I love that.
So yeah,
I think as well when you're talking about like getting young girls into fitness now, like I think personally a lot of it comes from. Like, it's all right very well saying your environment, but if you're not in that environment and you're not, algorithm on social media hasn't shown you that, that's when that becomes hard, isn't it? You can get to the people that you can get to, but you can't get to the other ones. So, like, I think when I take on clients, especially like middle-aged women, and they've got kids, I'm like, right, my duty is to get that mum to then cut the whatever shite ties are going on there, so that then that infiltrates into their kids, because like, that's a way to get into it. Is like almost like we speak about that a lot, about cutting like those whole generational ties of like your gran did this and your mum did this and that's why you do this, and then you're at a coach, like, because of all the fucking years of your gran and your mum and your whatever and all that, it's like that's why you do what you do. So it's like I see myself as an intervention between like clients that have got kids and their kids. And I think, well, that could stop their kid then having to go and get a coach, because they fucking have a shite relationship with food or whatever, do you know what I mean? Like, it's like you kind of try to infiltrate it that way.
Oh, how definitely. Did you get into it,
Louise? I was working in a car garage, just literally living for the weekend, man. Like, loved a booze. And I was like 30 before I even stepped foot in a gym. And I came in, went in with one of my pals to the gym you were working in, and you were like the pure like
Lou,
so high.
Lou hated me,
and you were like, remembered me for the pub, and I was like, I don't know who that is, and then you were like, oh my god, like we should train together. I was like, who the fuck is it?
Ali, I swear, right, we should not be bows.
Pure, she walked me in the gym, I was like, what did I say?
You're so bubbly, Louise is like so dry.
She hated me. I actually was like, be my pal. Like, she came in and I was like, hi, and she literally went, hi.
I was like, who the fuck is that?
She was training, I'm going, this chick trains, this is quite a cool chick. And I went on, I says, we should train one day. And she went, all right. And then I hung out with her. I was like, I'm actually all right.
And then she kept going like, why don't you, because I fucking just hated my job, man.
But she was strong
and
as fuck.
You're like, why don't you become a personal trainer? And I was like, no. And I was like, why don't I? Like,
exactly.
So
you're welcome, world. It's not.
I actually do always say, like, I credit the fact that I do this job to you. Like, if I didn't walk into that gym randomly because my pal asked me to go that day, I actually wouldn't be doing that job, which is so bizarre.
I know. It's,
I don't know what
it's pure full circle moment.
I like those stories though, like people that are into
like,
fitness and then end up like in a career.
I just got into it because my pals trained, and I actually just think I had nothing to do.
Yeah.
And I was like,
you've obviously got a gift for it as well, because you
can I just do a wee plug as well? Like, my husband actually runs PT courses, so if you ever have clients that want to do their PT, their level 3, fire them over. No.
Oh, is it not?
Well, he does it. I think he's done a bit of work with them in the past, but the collaboration there was because he had
someone I knew done that with Derek. Yeah.
So fire over anybody that wants to level.
What's the course called? What's the company called?
Headway Academy.
Headway Academy. Is it on Instagram?
Oh, he's 52. He's definitely no.
Is Derek on Instagram? Would
no.
He be? Oh, right, okay, well, come on, Derek, sort your shit out. We'll plug you. Yeah.
No, so he has been in the fitness industry as well his whole life, but he was more. Ultimately, he ends up kind of quite senior management. So when he got made redundant during lockdown, he started his own training company, but initially it was like more kind of management training, sales training, all that kind of thing. And then he's like, well, why don't I actually just write a 100% PT course type thing? So it's basically, he does all sorts of training, but PT's
PT amazing. I would 100% vouch for Derek, because Derek was my regional fitness manager when I started in Fitness First, and he just knew everything. Like, he must have been sick of me, because I'd be like, Derek, why do we do that? Derek, what's that for? What are you doing there? How's that? And I think he actually wrote me my first
ever program.
So I would highly, he is like the OG. So if you're in the fitness industry or want to get in the fitness industry, do that PT course. He knows 1,000,000%.
The man knows his shit for sure. And he's seen, like, in terms of like business, he's like, he was actually, I mean, I'm maybe blowing his trumpet a bit much here, but he was basically, Fitness First was the first commercial gym that put the PT model in place, whereby they kind of took gym instructors off gym floor and got them all to do their level 3, and then they built their business. So they were like PTs within Fitness First, for example, and built like their business. So they did kind of like, they paid rent to Fitness First, but did some hours, and obviously they were open to all these kind of this huge membership database type thing to kind of build a business themselves. But he basically built the PT model for Fitness First, and they, as far as I'm aware, they were the first gym to go down that route, and everybody followed suit. So he definitely knows his stuff in terms of like commercially, like management, like, and he's worked the gym floor himself way back when. So
Derek's like, I always remember you and Derek trained together. I actually remember taking one of Derek's spin classes and nearly died. I learned a lot from Derek and how to teach.
He's done all body combat coach.
He's done absolutely. I would highly. Well, definitely tell me if he's got in, like, let us know and we'll plug it. We'll put it on.
We'll do a plug at the end.
You should get him in. I'm trying to think. I got loads of questions, guys. I'm really sorry because I don't have a signal, because I can't remember any of them.
I've got one that I'll ask. The rest were all like, not gonna lie, they were just the generic. I don't want to ask them.
Pretty rubbish, were they?
I'm not asking them. Somebody asked, which is, I don't know if you want to just cover it quite quickly, but like the costs involved, like, because I don't people think about like the costs that are involved in competing and stuff like that. So I don't know about CrossFit. I'd be quite interested to know that. I know that travel will be a big one, but like, I know bodybuilding's fucking expensive if you're going to compete.
If you plan on spending £7,000, it is the best £15,000 you'll spend. No, it's not that bad. Well, first of all, obviously you're going to be paying your coach in it, so a decent coach is going to cost anywhere between £200 to £300 a month.
Oh, aye, definitely.
I mean, at least. So that's just your basic. Then obviously, are we counting food?
No,
I'm not counting food.
Nah.
Some I'm not a massive fan of, to be quite honest. They're unnecessary unless you really need them. But let's say you are getting the basics up, it's about 100 quid. Bikini, you're probably talking about 450 quid at minimum.
For a bikini? You are joking.
450, aye. Because they measure you and they make it all into your body.
Holy shit!
You can get a second hand. I had a second hand one for my first ever season because I didn't have any money at the time, and I tell you what, it was falling off me. Like my
Jesus.
Nearly out.
Right,
and then obviously travel depends if you're doing it internationally or whether you're doing it domestically.
Yeah.
I mean, you can spend at least £1,000 on travel.
Yeah.
What else have we got? The actual show day itself. You've got tan, which is 70 quid, makeup 90 quid. If you're getting your hair done, you're getting your nails. You've got also like to register, maybe for 2 bros you're talking 220 quid a class at times. For PCA usually 70 quid I think. Honestly, if you're doing a 6-month prep, you will spend easy $4,000 minimum.
Jesus Christ.
$4,000-ish. But
and even a photo shoot's expensive, but that's really expensive.
I think photo shoots now are not far off.
I feel like I spent fortunes there because it's like photo shoot makeup.
I remember spending that much.
No, I didn't spend $4,000, but I mean, like by the time I'd paid my coach, obviously paid for the photo shoots, which is £500 easy a photo shoot.
Then your hair
and makeup, travel.
Yeah,
was up and down
the
south.
Travel that's the worst bit.
Up and down south. So you're probably no far off that, to be fair.
What about CrossFit? Is it as much as that?
Sorry, I'm not being rude, guys. I've got a hair in my eye and I'm like, oh, because she's like, why is she looking at herself on camera? I'm like,
CrossFit, I would say it's the usual travel. Like, but if you choose to do, like I chose to do a competition in Paris, so you've got to build into the fact that you're going to have to fly there and have a hotel, but I didn't need to go to Paris for the competition. But there's a lot, so a bit like the High Rocks, isn't it, when people are like going to all these different cities to run a High Rocks, and they're kind of building it into a city break, aren't they, at the weekend, but running a High Rocks. You can't really do that with CrossFit because High Rocks, obviously you're there for an hour and then you get the rest of the weekend. CrossFit, you're normally competing over 3 days. Most CrossFit competition would be like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. To enter is anywhere between probably 200 and 300 pounds, depending on like what one you're doing. I do know the games this year is $500 to enter because obviously I'm not doing it, but my friend is. But then with that you get the athlete experience, you get all the kind of freebies in terms of from sponsors and stuff like that, and you have normally about 6 different workouts over 3 days, so it is a full kind of weekend. But I suppose really the only cost would be your entry fee, wouldn't it? Like you choose where you want. Like I remember I did the Wadapalooza one year in Miami, but I signed up for it. I did the qualify. Like I chose to go to Miami for a competition.
If I'm going to do it,
I've done one in Newcastle if I wanted to. So it's like you can't really build that in. But I would say that for me, CrossFit competitions offer really good value for money, and as a competitor, it's actually a bit worrying that there's less and less of them, because as the hybrid scene picks up and it's very it's like mass, like anybody can do like a hybrid race, so and they're churning through thousands, like the numbers they're churning through is massive, and there's money to be, lots of money to be made in that, obviously, because you're managing to get through so many athletes and participants, and they're there for an hour and they're gone, whereas a CrossFit competition you can only get through so many people.
Of course.
What is your opinion on High Rocks? I'd quite like to know that.
I think it's fine. I mean, I think it's great that people are so mad for it and make it their kind of sole thing. But personally speaking, it's a little bit boring. Like I've done a couple.
Do you think it's like? Have you done them? See, when people ask me what High Rocks is, I describe it as this is really terrible. But I say like it's for CrossFitters that can't. It's like people like can't
do CrossFit.
I mean, to be fair, it's quite different. But like,
I'm not knocking about it because it's fucking hard.
It's different in the sense that the thing about CrossFit is like we could have a workout that would be like an hour long, and it would have running in machines and lunging and burpees, and that would just be a workout. You'd maybe do it once or twice in a lifetime of CrossFit, or maybe 3 times at most. Whereas High Rocks obviously is it's the same thing all the time. So it's everybody can do it. There's literally nothing in High Rocks. Like I could get my mum could do it, might take 2.5 hours, but everybody can do it, and that's the attraction.
That's why it is.
Great, and I think that gets more people into fitness. I do wonder eventually if all the people that are into it at the moment might get a bit fed up with it, because it is the same all the time, and there's only so much training, and already you see a lot of the High Rocks gyms, the clips that you see on social media, they're beginning to like do power cleans and stuff like that. They're already they're venturing. So it's a good pathway into kind of more like maybe not necessarily CrossFit. Maybe their gym will end up doing more kind of varied style of workouts. But it's good fun. It's fine, but
it's pretty much like a big circuit.
It's like a big circuit.
It's a big circuit.
I mean, it's like but I quite enjoy a 10k. Would I want to travel the world doing 10Ks a year? No, probably not. But it's the same kind of idea, and I feel that about high rocks is about also you're running around in a hall.
That's true.
I didn't not enjoy it. I quite enjoyed it. It was quite good fun. I had a chest infection when I did it. I still thought it was quite good fun. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm just a bit like.
What about you, Tayla? Do you love it?
It's just I mean I've had a couple of clients that have done it and my pals have done it. It doesn't.
Do you like it when girls that are mid bodybuilding decide that they're going to do high rocks at the same time?
do you know what's frustrating sometimes is when somebody finishes a diet and then they say I'm a high roxer and I'm like, you need to eat.
100%. Yeah,
that's what I'm like. But as an actual sport, I mean, if it makes you happy, it keeps you fit, keeps you...
Absolutely.
I think it's a nice entry into fitness for a lot of people.
Definitely, yeah. It's good. It's like what you said. It's good because
quite
everyone
hard
can
if
do
you're
it.
not even running 8k for me's murder, I mind doing shit in between it, man.
Yeah.
Well, I've only ever, when the caveat, I said I've done a pairs one, which I think's a little bit easier in the sense that you're getting a bit of rest throughout the stations and stuff like that. And I did it with my sister, so it was good fun. Like, would I do it again? Possibly. I mean, maybe not in the price they're charging, but I mean, you're paying the same for a high rocks as you are for a CrossFit competition.
I feel like if you're doing CrossFit, like, high rocks probably is a little bit like...
Well, the thing about CrossFit competition as well is you're racing people, so you're in a heat and you're actually racing people. Whereas high rocks, like,
it's just a constant. You don't know where you are.
Like, it's only like I think, like Lauren and I, we ended up podium when we did it, but we had no idea, and it was like, so we weren't there to get our like not a medal. What is it? They get
Have you got on your back?
Because like, you don't know who you're racing because you're not racing, and then you can end up like at the same station as somebody in the heat in front of you or the heat behind you, and so you have no idea how you're doing. Whereas I actually quite like a race. That's why actually my friend Simon does a hybrid race called the Gauntlet, and he's
I've heard that.
So I did that with my sister in January, and what he's done with that, and I think it's a great idea for people that are more competitive. I think the hybrid racing's a great entry point for people into like a level of competitive fitness, but most people are doing it for fun. But for people like that are a wee bit more competitive, and I put myself in that bracket, what he's done is he's taken like the 7 best times from Glasgow, and he's taken the 3 best times that are going to come up as events happening next month in Newcastle, and then he's doing a final in Aberdeen, whereas we're all going to be in the same heat, which is brilliant because then it's an actual race, and that changes things because like I can't really run, so I know I'm going to go out run hard with all the good runners and then die a slow death, but it just changes it when you're actually, you can't just play your own game and run your own race when you're actually, it's like a competitive environment. So I quite like that idea. I suppose a bit like your elite 15 at high rocks, but that's only for the top in the world type thing. So I think it's cool. Like, it's probably will last, but everybody thought Zumba was going to last forever, didn't they?
Zumba.
I remember Zumba.
By the way, I have got a question that a lady asked. I don't even know whether any of you guys would be equipped to answer it. It's probably more for me, but she was asking, how do you deal with recovery as a perimenopausal woman in her late 40s?
I'll not be like that. I'll be asked that soon. I feel like it's hitting me.
It's hitting me. Do you know what threw me off? We were doing a team training day, so we were taking like a few of our new PTs through like hormones and like the cycle and PCOS and like perimenopause. See, the minute you said about the itchy ears thing,
I know.
There's constantly an earbud in there. Ross is like, are you? I'm like,
massive sign of perimenopause is like itchy ears, like really inside your ears, constant itchy ears.
I have constantly got an earbud in there.
I've just launched a perimenopause program. I didn't even know that. I'm 50. I've never done itchy ears.
Itchy ears. Electric shock syndrome's another one where you get like really, if you feel like you're not touching things, but almost like you're getting these weird like
never knew that either.
Electric shocks. My sister used to get it all the time. Like it was almost like she felt like there was like wee guitar strings pinging in her arms all the time.
That's
like a wee, and she was like, and I was like, I honestly for years thought she was just a lazy bastard and was at it, and I was like, just do the set, man. And she was like, it's so uncomfortable. I was like, and then it turned out she was actually and I was like, fuck, I'm so sorry, man. A big learning curve, but she went like loads of weird shit. My biggest one is like it's happening now. Like I actually forget what I'm going to say, and it's like
brain fog,
but it's not even like brain fog. It's like, it's mortifying. So I'm like, what the fuck was I talking about there? And I'm like, so
I get that, and I'm not perimenopausal.
That's what I say. I genuinely, Ross is convinced I've got dementia. He's like, there's something
I think it's
wrong with you.
You know what's hard because it's like how much is like just because everybody's a lot busier and everybody's a lot more distracted, and how much is it genuinely like your hormones?
I've pride myself quite heavily on like I can do 5 things at once and be quite good at doing them, and I can think about them all at once, and I feel like I can juggle a lot of balls, and I'm like, that, and then I'm like, now I'm like, why is that in the fridge? Do you know what I mean? Like weird shit. I would never do that.
But then, like, I don't know if like Ross says this to me all the time, and your partners are probably the same. Like when I moan about stuff like that, and I'm like, I swear, I'm pure worrying that my memory's going. And he's like, oh, but you remember what I done about a week ago? You push it right off. And I'm like, it's a good point actually. And he's like, you hold on to that, but everybody else you forget.
What was the actual question?
So the question was about recovery. I mean, I do think I'm equipped because I must be perimenopausal at my age, I guess, but I don't really have a lot of the symptoms.
Yeah.
Maybe
because you're so active as well.
The sleep, I do tend to wake up a lot like at least once a night, but I do notice it in recovery in terms of like if I've had a heavy volume day, then the next day I'm really sore.
Yeah.
So it's just I've tried like different things. I think obviously I spoke about supplements in the last podcast, and I've never really been fully like bought into anything, albeit I still take it type thing. My latest thing is turmeric. Because all of and obviously it's very natural, so I've been taking turmeric shots because it's meant to be good for inflammation and recovery and stuff like that. But I would say for older women, it's like listening to your body as well. Like yesterday I did nothing, like in a Wednesday, like I know that's like a big training day for a lot of people, but I had done quite a big training day on Tuesday, and I woke up yesterday and I literally every part of me, I'm like, couldn't even do an upper session. My legs were sore from squatting. My calves were sore from doing double unders. Like every part of me, there was just. So I just was like, I'm resting today. So I did nothing yesterday, but I think then people are like, I should be training today, and then you feel anxious. But I'd always say to people, if your body's telling you it needs a rest, then rest it.
See, I'm alright with training, taking a rest. I usually rest on a Wednesday, but for me, it's more switching off with work. See, if I'm sitting doing nothing, I'm like, you should be working or doing something. It's more work for me than like with training. I'm pretty good at going, right, girl, let's.
I think a lot of women are like that, particularly you've got 2 young kids. Like I remember my mum used to say to me when I just turned 40, like, you're going to run out of battery basically at some point, because I was quite bad for not really properly relaxing. Like you say, if like I just tried to fill every minute of every day. Like I just felt as I needed to be doing something, whether it was for myself or my family
or the house.
You
can't just sit there, you're like, shit should be getting done.
I'm still the same 10 years later, and I've not ran out of steam yet, but maybe it'll come. But I do think like women
I think for recovery as well, like if you're looking at somebody, you train a lot, right? So you're like, your recovery isn't what most people's recovery needs to be, because that's like you're like super trying to get like you're actually recovering from crazy sessions. Like most people recovering from like a couple of full body workouts every week is not that bad, but like so many people just neglect just good nutrition, and it's the most basic thing ever. Like just like literally just putting good
food
stuff
in your body.
Like, why are people so like, but what about that? And I'm like, but what about just your diet?
Nutrition.
Just put good things into your body. I'm massive now. I'm on the kiwi and kimchi hype, man.
I love kimchi.
I love kimchi, but anything. But I'm right into the kiwis now. 2 kiwis every day.
Skin on or skin off?
Skin on. But only a golden kiwi.
I was going to say the golden ones in Lidl's are great just now.
Everyone talks about them actually.
Get on the kiwi hype, man. They're like, are they not like good, like hunters, like so good nutrients?
They're fantastic for fibre, like as well.
Is it?
Aye, 100%. Like all my girls
right
2 kiwis post workout.
I'm never really a hype person. I never really.
I like a wee kiwi. I think as well though, it's identifying the difference between your body actually needing recovery in sense of like needs a day of rest, or I didn't eat adequately after my session yesterday, and taking that on board to your next session. And some people think they're injured when they're just a bit sore.
They're just sore.
Because I'm like, guys, I am sore every day of life. I know. Like, literally every single day of life. If I wake up in the morning and there's
I'm never
something aching,
I'm sore every day.
I've had gluten for 4 years.
Literally every day.
I would like to know, see when you're competing, do you do the whole bicarbonate soda thing?
Oh no, this is new though, isn't it?
So I find this so interesting.
Well, I don't know much about it, so I wouldn't like to say too much, but one of the girls I was staying with in Paris, she was from Ireland, and she had a nutritionist, and he's got her in the bicarbonate of soda.
This is what we're doing at uni.
Lactic or something like that.
So basically you get athletes that do that kind of training, they can take bicarbonate of soda, because what it basically does is it plays with the pH balance in your body and it stops you being so acidic. So it means you can push for longer without getting that lactic. But so you can actually...
So she was literally having like a spoonful of bicarbonate soda with water, and it doesn't really mix that great. No. So she was kind of mixing and swigging. But there's lots of it, and then I've seen a lot of like supplement companies are coming out with it. Yeah. I mean, bicarbonate of soda is like, my mum used to say it, like, you take stains off clothes.
Like, use it a lot. There's so many. We were doing a big bit about covering like endurance athletes and like athletes like that, and bicarbonate of soda is a big thing.
Yeah, I do feel it's fairly recent though. It's like a new thing that's coming out. I haven't done it. I'm open to it. But,
it definitely works though. Apparently for like that, for your kind of training.
No, we're all going after this. We're all going to Sainsbury's to buy just peanut butter and bicarbonate soda.
I've probably got 3 in my cupboards. They expired in 2008.
Aye, but for that kind of shit, it's I found that so interesting. I've been dying to ask you that.
I don't know enough about it. I've not done it myself. I do know of people that have been taking it, and I've seen a lot more of it recently. I'd need to do a bit of research myself, but totally open. I mean, it can't be bad for you.
That's it, because like Mark McDonald was working with some big like Olympian athletes, especially guys that were doing like triathletes, or like Sir Chris Hoy and all that, and giving them bicarbonate of soda for like his legs, so it wasn't getting his lactate. It was making such a huge difference, and I thought that is so interesting. So I was dying to ask you that.
You're going to see Hoyas and the bodybuilders in the gym now, just what the fuck are they all doing?
I'm doing legs tomorrow. I know.
People doing Ironman and stuff like that. They take that, I swear to God, and it just changes that pH. It stops them getting pure lactic. Incredible.
That's it.
Watch
there we go.
Space.
That'll be in the meal plan. I meal plan 200 grams of Cocoa Pops, 10 grams of bicarbonate.
Wait,
how many calories are in that?
I know what folk put in like their baked oats and all that.
Aye, to volume.
Is it right? I would
to volumise it.
Get in your oats.
Maybe that's why then. There we go. They didn't know, but now you know.
There you go.
Any more questions or anything you want to cover?
I'd just like to apologise to everybody that I had honestly about 8 and I forgot.
We just need to do another one, guys. We need
I should have screenshot
number 2.
I've not known you that long, Ali, but I feel like I know you quite well now. A late person who isn't that organised.
It was quite funny. Like one of the girls I do some online program, just extra stuff, because she does a lot of CrossFit. She was talking to one of my other girlfriends in the gym, and she's like, I used to think Ali was like super organised. Like she had all her ducks in a row. And my friend Jillian's like, she's not got any ducks. I very much fly by the seat of my pants.
Have you got any more questions, or are you good?
Nah, they're quite. I think we covered a lot of it, to be fair.
Well, this is usually when we punt things. We've punted a lot, but what do you want to punt, Tayla? Yourself?
Coaching?
Punt yourself. Big yourself up.
I know.
Are you taking on any coaching clients?
Some. I'm not fully open, ones? But I'm not closed.
Yeah.
That was so cryptic.
Keep them keen, hen. Keep them mean and keep them keen. That's it.
If you're interested in what
massive influx, because they're like, pick me.
To be honest, I'm actually stressing my bag. But if you're interested in what made me, drop me a message.
Yeah, and she will consider. You may be able to sit here or not.
Or click the link in my bio on Instagram, Tayla_1
Yeah.
We'll link you so. What? We'll link you on the things.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks. And that's me, really.
Yeah.
Ali, you want to punt anything?
What have I punted so far?
You've punted Derek, and you've punted you've semi-punted your own thing.
Yeah. So I'm kind of.
Is that closed now? You're not really
closed, because I only wanted to take 10 people, just because it's very much a pilot, and it's very much, like you say, you know me already. Like, there's not a lot of structure to it at the moment. So the structure's being built as we go.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
So I think I'll probably be in a position to kind of push it out to more people in a month or 2. I think maybe the idea behind it is I've kind of pitched as a bit of a reset for women my age, and like I said, it's more about kind of helping them form better habits and sustainable habits, and giving just wee tips on how they can make that happen, and things that work for me type thing. Kind of drawing a wee bit from my husband as well. He does a lot of the mindset stuff too.
Love that.
So he's kind of helping me a wee bit with that, because like interestingly, and I guess this is the reason why they signed up for it, but I had like maybe 45 women fill out the interest form, and every single person, when I was asking about like how their symptoms that they could relate to, every one of them was like low body confidence and how I look. I was like, everyone. Then I guess that's why they're wanting it. So I'll probably do more of that in the future, and then ultimately I think perhaps potentially working with my sister and I want to build something together. So
amazing.
This might be like a wee entry point in if people wanted to work with the two of us.
Yes,
that'd be good.
Absolutely.
I mean, we've basically been talking about it for probably close to 6 years now. So
you so should.
Like the two of us like a bit of procrastination. So we'd probably, if anybody wants to be my PA, organise our life.
That would be so good.
That's probably the long term goal. But I mean, in our defence, like I still work part time in an office job. I've obviously got a lot on my plate with Alfie. My sister is a physio, she's busy with that. She's got 2 young kids, who she's really busy with. So none of the two of us in a good place where we can really be like, clear off everything, let's do it. So it's always a bit bitty and always a wee hour here, a couple hours there. So, and I'm probably in a better place than Lauren in terms of I've got a wee bit more time than she has at the moment. So I figure if we kind of if I can get this off the ground, and then hopefully it can build from there.
Yeah,
that's the goal.
That's exciting.
Nice.
It's been rumbling along for a while.
I love that. I might actually book on myself a bit, like trying new things, and
We've been saying for ages we want to do another day in the gym where we do the.
It's like a women's
like a
workshop.
Female day for like, and get like you guys hopefully to come in and do some stuff for us as well.
Definitely.
And like we can all put in our own wee good bits and bobs and some training stuff.
That'd be class.
I think it would be good to do a big deal like that.
100%.
I bet you there's a demand for it.
Ours was really good the last time actually, wasn't it? It was just me, you and Lou.
But we want to do this one, us 4 and Jen, and then maybe do like, maybe even ask like Morgan as well.
Morgan?
Yeah,
she's
quite
great.
good to get like a bunch of cool women to come and do it. Would be good, I think.
Yeah.
You can't, it's too early. It's alright.
What about your... And this is not my podcast, I shouldn't be asking questions, but what about... So obviously you and Ross do that every year, your seminar.
The seminar.
Yeah, you doing it again this year?
We're going to do it again this year, so it would be good to get new people in as well, which would be really good, because you're always brilliant.
Thanks.
We'll bring you back every year.
That's just not just asking, just coming back.
So every year basically in the gym we do a seminar where we get in speakers from like big like coaches or business mentors or MD that's kind of interested in like all these people,
big hitters in the fitness industry,
pretty much, and people pay to come along and just learn from everybody.
Like so other coaches come over and just learn from other coaches that are really like big in the game. Pretty much, like. But
I even had people like some of my clients went along because they were just interested in hearing things like Tayla talking and like they wanted to learn more. So we'll definitely be in touch.
My husband's up.
Absolutely. Definitely.
I've not got into punt. You can punt the gym?
Just join the gym.
Well, I do online
that
coaching.
easy. Yeah, well, you do online coaching.
Yeah, I'm full for PT, but
come and coach me. Basically, but I would highly recommend following. If you're not already following everyone, follow everyone.
Yeah, follow
because
everyone. Join the gym.
It's positive, and we need to start listening to women that are more positive than these shite influencers that send you down a garden path.
More positive, more real.
We said what we said.
Yeah.
This is
I know this person here in a moment's turned up with no makeup on. As soon as I walked in, I was like, oh no.
See what you look like that? I'm telling you, the face card is absolutely fine. The face and body card is doing it. You're fine.
God.
Cool, right. We'll catch you in the next one. I've asked to do...
Oh, the horns.
Oh, this way?
This way? Oh, Christ.
I do this way.
Wait, I'm doing...
There's a difference, because in emojis, there's this one and this one.
We only discussed this.
So if I was going to do it to some a gig, I would go like that. But if I was like... I would do that for like a photo.
Right, okay.
I would do...
Right.
Like if you're in a band and you're getting a photo with somebody,
we did
don't
that
go like
as well.
that.
I didn't know what that was.
I mean, I'm not being funny, but I can't pull that off.
You can. You can pull it.
You need to put the thumb out. You're doing a closed thumb. That's making it weird.
Oh no.
Maybe the thumb out. It's more like.
So we thumb out.
Closed thumbs like you're old. You know what you're doing.
Okay.
Precisely.
That's what I was saying.
That's exactly what I did.
Everyone's photos will be thumb out and yours will be thumb in. Will be like,